I remember there was a time when we was kings and queens, prophets and rulers, judging the earth. But now we stuck at the bottom of the totem pole. Where did we go wrong as a people? I think our people need to understand this with a wake-up call and give them understanding on what's going on. So bring it.
Early morning, rise up, open your eyes up, looking in the mirror, it gets no clearer. Cause we don't understand our own selves, drowning in sorrow with empty Hennessy bottles upon the shelf. Cause everybody wanna be a king, selling out their soul for this mean green cream thing. Paper chasing but not facing the facts that as a nation we all done got lax and letting the devil control us. And thinking like them damn Africans, they sold us. We in captivity because they hold us. Working hard with heavy burdens on our shoulders. Man, I thought we was some soldiers, but every second that I look, we getting creamed like Folgers. You see the
Live?
See you, sir.
Shalom.
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 Shalom to everybody online. Welcome again to another class. This is the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're located at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77071. Our class times are Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday from 6 to 9 p.m., Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m., and we also do kids class from 11 to 12. We'll also be broadcasting live from Trinidad every every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Friday, okay, from 7 to 10, and also Saturday. So you'll get class 7 days a week from us, okay, here on, you can catch it on YouTube, or you can, 4 days a week here. If you're in Trinidad, you can catch class out there. If you're in San Antonio, we have a school at 4219 78th Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. They do class Monday through Saturday, all right? Monday through Friday is 7 to 10. And I believe they do Saturday morning Sabbath service also. Also, we're in New Mexico. We're at 501 Copper Ave, Northwest, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102. I know they do Sabbath ceremony out there also at that location. We are currently at the Arizona State Fair. All right, we'll be there until October the 29th. So if you want to support the school, go ahead, visit the brothers that are out there. They're selling the oils, the Egyptian bottles, the burners, the all-natural soaps. All right? So that helps support the school. We also have the Penny Wars contest that helps support the school, raise some money for Passover, things of that nature. Let's see here. Oh, and for the also New Mexico, they're doing Mashaba. They do the Blog Talk Radio. They do the Blog Talk Radio. Okay, so you can catch that Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30, and that's blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba. You can search that on blogtalkradio.com. All right. If you have any questions, you can text only me at 303-557-8979. Text only during class. All right, you can contact Priest Kazakia at 281-707-2737. You can also contact Priest Tahawan Mayam at 832-941-2443. For any other questions or concerns, you can hit us up at isbhpk@gmail.com. Okay? For our live classes, you can catch us on YouTube at ISBHPK. Okay, we have our ISBHPK cable show every Saturday from 8:30 to 9:30. That's on Comcast Local Channel 17. Or you can catch it live on hmstv.org, okay? Catch that live. Let's see here, what else? If you want a garment, you can hit up the sisters on Facebook, search Israel Wear. You can hit them up for anything that you need made, headbands, armbands, shirts, pants, whatever it is that you need. All right, they're also collecting Passover garment money monthly. Okay, so if you want a Passover garment, which is coming up here soon, hit them up at Israelwear on Facebook, and they can get you the details. Also, they do Unity garments year round. Okay, so hit them up, ask them about the details. You can hit them up on the same place and ask about all that. They'll get you straight. For any donations, all forms of contribution are welcome and needed. We say this every class. All right, we say it every class. We appreciate all those that have been giving, all the books, all the pens, the papers, everything, all the money, everything that y'all been giving is going to the school. It's going here, but most importantly, a lot of it is now being diverted to Trinidad, all right, because they're in the building stages of getting the school, and you know, we got a lot of brothers out there. It's like 15 brothers, so they need books, they need stuff, they need Bibles. A lot of them brothers didn't have no Bibles when we got down there. Apocryphers, dictionaries, all right. So whatever you donate, that's going down there to them, and we appreciate it. So keep helping out. Every little bit counts. For any monetary donation, we have a Wells Fargo account under Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. That number is 101-580-6167. Okay? Can y'all hear me? Is it good? Oh, okay. I just feel like it's not loud. And then also you can Google Wallet us under isbhbk@gmail. All right, for any monetary donations. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I want to turn up.
Where's your snare?
Trying to turn up. Turn up. That's good. Look, that might be too loud. Yeah? Is that good?
Right there.
That's good. That's good. I can sound my own voice. Hey, can you do me a favor? Get the fans, please. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the announcements. All right, make sure I didn't miss anything. Same bat time, same bat channel. Yeah, so listen, it's the Sabbath. You know, it's going down. I just felt like we just had the Sabbath, like it felt like yesterday. It just be flying the time. But what y'all got? Y'all got any questions? Any questions in here? Any questions online? Oh, y'all got questions online. What's up? What y'all got? What y'all got? Here we go. My screen is showing live stream offline.
It's live. I think that was
Oh, earlier?
maybe.
Shalom, everybody. Hey, if y'all got questions online, go ahead and send those questions. Charlotte, my screen is showing please and family. My screen is showing live stream offline. You probably just have to refresh, Charlotte, but it should be good. Send this link out to a few folks. Need to get the word out. Gotta get the word. What's going on, Allison?
My question is, how do you get through sitting like with another classmate or so who's like really doubtful, and even though you're not that way, especially because you don't want them to see that, but still like you consider them, and they're not spiritual either, of course, but still they like have this doubt about them, like, oh, I'm always gonna fail, or I just don't get this, or even though we study for hours and hours.
So it's like a study partner,
Yeah,
and so you're like paired with this person.
con.
Feel that confidence?
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, if they're not spiritual, it's not really that hard. You just, a lot of times when people aren't spiritual, it's all about your delivery and how you deliver things to them. And sometimes you're, a person that doesn't understand the Bible, you're not gonna be like, and the Bible says, bop, 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 right? Not always. A lot of people, you just gotta talk to them as if the Bible is speaking. As if the Bible is speaking. So if a person's doubtful, you can break it down a few ways. You gotta figure out, what are they doubting? Are they doubting the fact that they can't learn? Are they doubting their abilities? You know, that self-confidence, is a doozy.
It is. It's because it can jump, you know. Like,
Yeah, it can. I mean, it can do this. You could be up here, and then guess what? It's like super prideful, right? But then if it's like way down here, then it's like, okay, you casting away your confidence, like it talks about in Hebrews. So I mean, it's really obviously this person's carnal, so you got to show them carnal examples of their successes. If a person's in college, especially in the field that you're in, they have had to have some accomplishments to get to that level.
right, because we're all in pretty much like our upper level classes. Like,
Right.
this is 2 more, so it's like we're at the end.
Right.
So it's not like we didn't just get here just to, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah, like by luck.
Right.
But yeah, and that's what the thing you gotta remind. Sometimes people have to be reminded of their accomplishments. You know, you gotta set them back and say, listen, look at what you've already accomplished thus far. How did you get here? What did it take? Oh, you studied, you dedicated yourself, you worked hard. That's all you have to keep doing is keep doing that pattern. You know, I mean, like when you go to 2 Timothy, go to 2 Timothy real quick. Let me show you something. 2 Timothy 2:5. It's real simple. I mean, even this scripture this can apply to anything that you study. Right? Because, read it real quick.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 5.
2:15.
Chapter 2, verse 15.
Go ahead.
Study to show thyself approved unto God.
Right. So we know we study the Bible to show ourselves approved unto the Most High because you have to study this to understand it. But think about it. What field are you in again?
Forensic chemistry.
Forensic chemistry. Anything with chemistry in it, if you ain't a brainiac, you got to study. Right? And even if you are a brainiac, you might have to put in a little study time so that what? You're approved of whatever teacher you have or your grades are approved. You see what I'm saying? So with this person, you got to just show them, look, how did you get here? What did you do? Oh, you studied. Again, you dedicated yourself, right? You sacrificed time. See, it's all these things that the Bible talks about. Study to show thyself approved. Sacrifice. Dedication. Not being double-minded. So you gotta figure out what about this are you not having confidence in? What about it? And then once you figure out that, you pinpoint the little issue, then you can show them like, well, look, you're already doing it. Just keep doing what you've been doing. That's the problem with Israel. Is this an Israelite? No? I mean, but that's the problem with any people. Forget about nationality.
Right.
The problem with people, humans as a whole is we'll start off on something, we'll do it, and then we'll lose faith right in the middle. We'll lose faith, but it's like you've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? We'll lose faith right in the middle of doing it. It's just like when Peter was walking on water. Right? What happened? He was doing it. And then what happened? He started to doubt when it got hard. Go to Matthew 14 and 13. Did you finish that? Oh, you could drop that. Go to Matthew.
Come.
You can start at Matthew 14 and 25. 24.
Matthew chapter 14
23.
and verse 23.
Go ahead.
And when he had sent the multitudes away,
Right?
he went up unto a mountain apart to pray.
Right?
And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea,
Right.
tossed with the waves.
So he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. So this is Christ. He was up in the mountain praying. He did that a lot. He would dip off. He fed the multitude. He would send them away. He would go to be by himself, collect his thoughts, re-energize, get ministered to, fast, pray. Right? Read verse 24.
But the ship was now in the midst of the sea. Sorry. tossed with the waves,
Uh-huh.
for the winds was contrary.
Right, so there was a storm, and there was a ship in the midst of the sea. And the wind was contrary. The wind was just going back and forth. Right? Go ahead.
And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea.
Right, because the disciples were on the boat. So he went from down the mountain and walked on the sea in the middle of a storm. This is how you know he wasn't walking on, you know, it was wild. They started to say, oh, he walked on the lake, the sea that he walked on was frozen. Nah, bro. He didn't walk on ice. He didn't walk on a frozen lake. So there was a storm. The wind was contrary, right? And the waves, and the sea tossed with waves. So he was walking through waves, right? Go ahead.
And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled.
They were what?
Troubled.
Yeah, they're like, how the hell? What is going on here? Go ahead.
Saying, it is a spirit. And they cried out for fear.
Because it was, man. It was Christ. So this is a spirit. They thought it was a demon. They thought it was a ghost, right? Because they'd never seen this happen with any man. Go ahead.
But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid.
Go ahead.
And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee on the water.
See, Peter said, if it's up to you, let me come to you to the water. But Peter didn't realize it was up to him. It was up to himself. It wasn't up to Christ. It was up to Peter to be able to walk on water. We don't see. Go ahead.
And he said, Come.
Right? So all Christ said was, come on. But did Christ walk for him?
No.
Nah. Did he put him on his back? Nah. He said, come. That don't make you walk on water. That don't make you go through your storms. You got to be willing to do it. Go ahead.
And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water.
So Peter did what?
Walked on the water.
Yeah, so Christ wasn't the only one to walk on water. Peter did it too. Peter did it also. Go ahead.
To go to Jesus. But when he saw the winds boisterous.
Yeah, but see, when it started getting hard, when you seen a little adversity, go ahead.
He was afraid.
Go ahead.
And beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me.
Right. You see that? But this is the thing. It already said he was walking on water. So what made him doubt? Like this person that you're teamed up with, your study partner, what makes them doubt? You're already doing it. You're already there. What's making you doubt? Because it's getting a little bit harder. Now you're trying to foresee the future, and you're looking at, oh, I got this test coming up, and we got this to do, and we got to do this and this, instead of just handling what's in front of you. Taking it what? Step by step. See, if Peter would have just walked step by step and not worry about what was going on 10 feet ahead, like they always have that saying, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right? See, Peter was trying to cross a bridge that he wasn't even there yet. So he created doubt in his head. Go ahead.
And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith.
Yeah, because it's about your faith. His faith was lacking. Oh, you of little faith. Go ahead.
Wherefore didst thou doubt?
Yeah, why the hell are you doubting? You was already doing it, Peter. Come on, Peter. You was already doing it. You were already walking. So to your classmate, it's like, what you doubting for? You're already doing it. You're here doing it. And then it's not like you by yourself.
Right.
It's you. I know you want it. Right? I know you want it. So that's the thing. That's the whole point of a study partner, right? It's to be able to bounce ideas and help one another. So you got to show them. I mean, obviously you can't take tests for them and do all that stuff, right? But you got to show her, like, look, while I'm here with you, we bounce ideas off one another. We help one another. Take advantage. Iron sharpeneth iron, right? Abiyar.
In this instance, when Christ reached out and grabbed them, was Peter then again walking on the water, or was he carrying them?
Well, where we at?
14 and Matthew 14:31.
1 sec. Well, I'm gonna say this. We know that Christ walked out onto the water.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they were midway between the boat, Peter had to do some walking back to either get on the boat, because he walked. It doesn't say how far, it doesn't, I mean,
That's
where we at 14 and 31?
con.
Because that's the end of that, right? That's the end of it. 14 and 31. Is it? 14? Oh, I'm looking at 12 and 41. Sorry. 14 and verse 35. I mean, it doesn't say whether Christ carried him or he walked with it, but read verse 32.
Verse 32.
Uh-huh.
And when they are come unto the ship,
So they have to go they have to go towards the ship.
con.
So obviously they were in a distance from the ship to be able to hear Christ, see him.
He walked,
Right.
He got out.
Peter got out the boat, walked a bit. So Christ probably did just say, here, come here, come on. But it said Christ caught him. I mean, when you look at it, verse 31, immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him. So he probably just pulled him on up and said, come on, let's walk. Let's do it together. I'm going to show you.
Con.
You know?
That's how I seen it too. I was just
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah. Shed a little light.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that though, Allison? You just gotta, if you're there for that person to help them and be a partner, you just gotta make sure that it's just like anything in partnership. Each partner has a role, right? There's a reason, you gotta remember one thing, there's a reason why you and this person is paired up too. There's a reason why even brothers, they get paired up at the mall or flyers, whatever it is, because there's something that there has to be a two-way. There's something that you don't have that they have, and there's something that they have, or that you have that they don't have. So it should be this back and forth. So it might be they have that lack of faith, but you have it. So now you're able to say, look, nope, we're gonna kill that. Because you don't want that to jump on you. So you gotta immediately kill that.
Right.
But then there's something that they might have that you don't have. You see that? It has to be this, it should be this back and forth. Yeah, so
Yep. I really like that.
I can't be, I don't wanna hear like in 6 months, like, oh, I failed out of my class, cause, nah, I'm playing.
No.
I know I ain't gonna hear, come on, what you
No.
got? One more year left, what you got?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know you ain't gonna do that, come on.
Yeah, it's crunch time.
Yeah, you better tell her to get on it, you better tell Moab to get on it, stop playing.
Question on mine.
The screen is showing large screen offline, no sound, no nothing. Yeah, they gotta, I think everybody's still on the other link. They gotta, listen, maybe you guys have to refresh your screens, but somebody else just texted me about, it says live stream but no sound. Let me see. 'Cause I was just on there, it's working.
Yeah, there's audio and everything.
Shalom. Can y'all see me and hear me?
Con.
Everybody that's on online, can y'all see and hear? It says, excuse me for not being prepared with my books. The first flood in Genesis between 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. Wait, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1? Who were the, hold on, you might have to restate that question. Rasadeen. You talking about the first flood in Genesis. If you talking about the first flood in Genesis and who was flooded, it was the whole world. It was all the cities and all the world. All the inhabitants, all the animals. If you're talking about in Noah's time, I did, yeah. If you're talking about in Noah's time, that was everything. Everything from Adam to Noah was destroyed and flooded out. All the animals, everything.
I have a question.
It's on What's up, Abiyar? What you got?
Jeremiah
Mm-hmm.
chapter 24.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like going into like the prophecies of how Judah or how Israel was dispersed and how we were sent into captivities and stuff like that, or is there something that
I'll have to read it.
okay. It's well,
Is there a specific point, or you wanna? We could hit the whole
well
chapter.
the first chapter, the first verse,
Uh-huh.
because it talks about good figs and the bad and the evil figs.
Uh-huh. That's funny. Yeah, basically that's what it's going into. That's what it's going into, baby. Captivity. I mean, did you have a specific question, or did you want to know if that's what it was about?
Yeah, pretty much if that was
No,
like if I was
second flood.
getting that right.
Yeah, no, that's right. Everything been over here, audio and visual. Rasadeen, you saying that Noah was the second flood. So I'm trying to figure out, you gotta remember, Noah was the first flood. Noah was the first and only flood. It never rained on the earth. For one, it never even rained on the earth before Noah's time, or until Noah. It never rained. So you gotta show me what scripture you're talking about, bro. He said, "Oh, I'm driving, I shall return." Con. Well, let's see. Genesis 1 and Genesis 1 and 1 and Genesis 1 and 2. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no. Genesis 1 and 1 and Genesis 1 and 2 is not talking about a flood. It's not talking about a flood. See, the waters that is talking about in Genesis 2, it's just a symbolism for the elements. Alright? There was no nations or anything created at this time to be flooded. There was no need for a flood. But nah, when you're done driving, yeah, get back with me. Get back with me on that. We can go through it. I was always wondering if Moses told the Israelites that they would go into slavery for disobeying the Most High, how did some of them stay in Africa? Because not every single one of them not every single Israelite got taken in slave ships. It's as simple as that. Not every single one of them went into slavery to America. You got to remember, there was slavery going on before we came to America. A lot of Israelites was getting sent to Europe. A lot of them was being enslaved in Africa. That's how a lot of them stayed in Africa as slaves. So not every single drop of Israelite that was in Africa, not every Israelite went into the west coast of Africa. So, that's how. Not every single one of them went into captivity in that way. Some went to Europe, some stayed in Africa. Yeah, so that's how. Okay, just still second online to if they got any questions. But yeah, not every person went on slave ships. Not every Israelite left Africa at that time. Not every Israelite went into Africa. I'm sure think about it, man. We crafty people. Some of us escaped. Some of us escaped the Roman persecution, fled into Africa. Some of us escaped the African persecution that went on for all them years and hid out, And that's some of us escaped having to get on those slave ships. Well, best believe, in some way, some form, in some shape, you still call hell. We still call hell. So you escape one way, you got caught another way, because like it says in Deuteronomy, these curses shall come upon you and pursue you wherever you go. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter what you did. It didn't matter if you stayed in Africa. Didn't matter if you went to a new world. It didn't matter. These curses, go to Deuteronomy 28 real quick. And 45.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee,
Right?
and shall pursue thee.
Yeah, see, no matter where you went, no matter what you did, no matter where you hid, these curses, some way or another, just like the Native Americans, what did they think they were going to do? They said they were going to come into a new land and keep the law of the Most High. Hell no. You went into your new land, and what happened? Christopher Columbus and his crew, let me sing the song. In 1492, Columbus and his crew, right? Y'all know that song, right?
La.
Come on, man. High school you went, what middle school did you go to, or intermediate school did you go to? They didn't sing that?
Nah, I went to a bilingual school. We didn't sing that.
Ah, damn, it wasn't that with Columbus. So, I went to Italian all-white boy school. Yeah, a lot of white boys I went to school with back in New York.
We sang songs like De Colones.
Despacito?
Oh, the color.
Yeah, you know De Colones?
Yeah.
But, yeah, Columbus, the natives, the Native Indians, what did they do? They ran over here to America. What did he do? He hopped up in the book of Ezra, was like, oh, the children of Israel went to a new land, I'm going to go follow them. Because that's what he did. That's how he knew where we were at. That's how he knew it was going to happen. So it says, the curses shall come upon you and pursue you. Go ahead.
And overtake thee.
Go ahead.
Till thou be destroyed.
Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments.
Yeah, because we were hard-headed as hell. So the Most High was like, as hard-headed as you're going to be, I'm going to make it even harder for you to escape. You ain't never going to escape. Go ahead.
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee, which he commanded thee.
Uh-huh.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Right. So, forever. Until what? Until we start waking the hell up. Y'all see that? So, yeah, not every Israelite left. There's still some Israelites there now, as we know. I mean, a lot of these Africans that think that they're Africans is funny. I ran into there was a Vietnamese dude in the mall. He was from Vietnam. He was cool as hell. He'd been here like 30 years, he said, but he barely speak English. But he was cool, man. I said, listen, is there a lot of black people in Vietnam? And when I said black people, I said like me. He said, yeah. He said, because of the war. He said, yeah, they come over there, they don't marry, they just sex and babies. I was like, damn. Right? He said, sex and babies. And I was like, yeah, I know what that means. We was out there just sleeping with them women during the war, Vietnam War, having children and dipping. Right? What's up, Edith?
I had a question.
Uh-huh.
Since we were talking about the slave trade ships and stuff like that. Before that happened, I know a lot of them were sent to like South Mexico all the way to down to South America and stuff like that.
A lot of the slaves?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
from West Africa, Israelites.
Yeah.
So before that happened, were there any, I guess I would say, Judites or southern kingdoms?
What do you mean
that?
work?
Do you think that before that slave trade came to the Americas,
Mhm.
was there any of the black tribes
Mm-hmm.
gone into like with us with the northern tribe or no? Do you think?
You talk, okay, so like, was there any Judah, Benjamin, Levi with Simeon or no?
Yeah.
There could have been. There could have been. I mean, why not? We were, we got to remember that. We got to remember, it's just like, okay, I'm going to ask you this question. When we came out of Egypt, was it just Israel? Nah, it wasn't just Israel. Watch. It said it was a mixed multitude. So it was some Israelites, and it was some Egyptians that was like, man, I'm coming with y'all. So just to show you that, it wasn't just, it wasn't just, you saying that came to South America?
Yeah, like basically before
Before
the transatlantic slave
right.
trade.
Oh, like was there some Judites joined in with maybe Naphtali?
Yeah, with the.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I mean, remember, we married within the tribe. We married within tribe, within the nation. So yeah. I mean, what if a Judite woman was married to an Asherite? That counts, right? Yeah. So yeah, it could have happened.
Okay, I get you.
Why?
No,
Yeah.
no, because I'm reading this book.
Uh-huh.
And it's talking about like I'm looking at the dates and
Uh-huh.
there's like artifacts with statues of people that lived
Like Judah.
yeah
Right. Negroid features, whatever. Yeah.
before
Yeah.
the slave trade.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you got to remember one thing. I'm glad you asked that question, because this class is gonna show you. It's gonna show you a reason why a lot of our people even look the way they look, because it's like even there's a photo that Kazakia put on Facebook. I think you liked it, right? And he said, look how dark they were.
Yeah.
And they look like Native Indians, but just black, just dark,
Yeah.
right? Native Indians dark like this wood,
Right.
right? Or black, just look black like coal, but they had that straight hair, or that different textured hair.
Right.
So you got to remember that before we got onto the slave ship in Africa, we was getting raped, robbed, and pillaged in Africa. We was fighting with the Africans for a good 1,000 years, whatever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of things that was going on. There was a lot of things that was happening in Africa before we left from Africa. They was raping us, robbing us, and in turn, what did that do? That changed our identity, the way we look. That changed a lot of things about us, But yeah, I'm sure there was some Judites mixed in with Asher, Issachar. I'm sure that, think about it. Look how dark think about when you look at like the brother Carlos that came for Sabbath.
Oh yeah.
Brother's darker than me. He's from Panama. That brother's darker than me. You see, you got people, you got Colombians. I met some Colombians in the mall. I was like, damn, I wish I was that dark. They were dark. Some dark Mexicans. Not saying that that's only a Judite feature, because being dark ain't just a Judite feature.
Right.
I think he also said his people are from Benjamin.
Who said that?
Carlos.
Oh yeah, Carlos. Yeah, he did say that. Benjamin and Benjamin. Yeah, because Grenada and Jamaica. Yeah. You're right. I keep thinking Panama, 'cause that's the last place that. Yeah. My brain.
But it still shows that it makes it.
Yeah. 'Cause I met a lot. Listen, I met this old cat in the mall like last year. He reminded me of an old Judite. He had the same walk, that same old like. I've been living for 70 years. I'm just tired. Right? He had that look on his face. Like your old grandpa that's just like, man, I'm fed up with this crap. He had that look. And I was like, man, where you from? We started talking. I said, damn, where you from? Really? He was like, oh, I'm from, where did he say he was from? He was from, damn, I forgot where he said he was from. It might have been Uruguay or Guatemala, one of them. But he wasn't from like Cuba or Dominican Republic or anything. Nothing that you could really say, oh, I see that you're Dominican or Puerto Rican. He was from somewhere where you did like, damn, they dark as hell down there too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. But the point was his whole look, his whole demeanor. You would think that he was just a regular Negroid black man that grew up in America because he had that same type of characteristics and swag. Just showing you, don't matter where you put our people, we all the same. We all the same at the end of the day.
Right.
The only thing that was different was the stop on the boat and the language that conquered us. You know? But nothing online? I'm just going to class, man. If there's nothing online.
Questions.
Is there? Oh, you asking them? You're trying to get it started up in here?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Let's get it started in here. Let's see. No, it's something about it. Probably Native Americans. Eskimos, Native Americans. Tribe of Judah. Like Eskimos from like Alaska? Eskimos? Mm-hmm. Mixed multitude of Namzars. Yeah, the mixed multitude. Yeah, Tribe of Judah, no. For one, a Mamzar. A Mamzar is a bastard child, my bro.
Child.
That's what that is. A child. It's actually a child of incest. Pardon me. That's what a Mamzar is. When you go into, let's go there real quick. We've been hitting this a lot. Yeah, the Mayans, the Aztecs. No, they're not. They're not Mamzars and descendants of Asians. Those same, like even if you eat those same people, when you go into like Peru and all these different places where they have all their architecture, you'll see Hebrew writings. Their structures are built the same way the pyramids in Egypt are built that the Hebrews built. So, but you know who's, Tahawam goes deep into that. Tahawam Mayam, he got the books. He got all the books on it that I don't have here with me. He took all his books to Trinidad with him. Where did I want? I wanted
Deuteronomy.
yeah. You got it?
23:2.
Yeah, go there real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Right. Jump down to verse 3 real quick. So it's talking about a bastard. So who were bastards in the scriptures? And why were they bastards? Read.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
An Ammonite or Moabite.
Wait, so Ammon and Moab, if you know the story of Lot and his daughters, Lot's daughters slept with him. They got him drunk, they got pregnant. They had Moab and Ammon. Okay? So, bastards, or Mamzars if you want to call them, children of incest. Go ahead.
Shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Right.
Even to the 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever.
Right. I mean, let's see here. Khan, brother. Khan. Like I said, I don't have all the books on it right now, but we'll get them. Khan. We got one that wants to just argue. Not really in an arguing mood today. Not in an arguing mood right now, man. I don't want to do it. Like I said, I won't got all them books, so there's a lot of books that There's a lot of Lost Tribes in the Promised Lands. That right there, that book right there, it destroys what this brother's talking about Mayans and them being Asians. The book tells you that they ran up on the native Indians speaking Hebrew. I don't know when the last time an Asian spoke Hebrew. I mean, and if you want to go deep into it, there's also books telling you that the first dynasties in China were Israelites, Hebrew writing, things like that. So, I mean, you can put two and two together, even if they were Asians. We were everything. Israel was scattered everywhere. We were the first everything. There's books that are out that show that we were the first Italians, if you want to go into it. The books are there. I just don't have them with me, so I don't want to go and speak all on it. Like I said, I won't got all those books with him. But yeah. So what we gonna do? We just gonna go into class, man.
Brother Jeremiah asked a question.
Everybody's asking questions. I can't see them. Hold on, they loading up late. What's his question?
He says, can you break down Genesis 15, verse 16? Because that wasn't us, aka Israel. It said for 4 generations we would go back to Israel. Question.
Genesis 15 and verse 16. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. Which one the question is? Within the 4th generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is done. Damn, how come I can't see his question?
You want me to read it to you?
Yeah, read it one more time.
It says, can you break down Genesis 15, verse 16?
Right.
Because that wasn't us, aka Israel. It said 4 generations we will go back to Israel.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I've been in Genesis too. That's all I've been in. Let's see here. Let's see where we can start. They shall come again hither. It's not yet full. I'm just gonna pass that. Then the summer down and it's dark and go this one furnace. Let's see. One sec. Jeremiah. My mate.
Genesis chapter 15
Yeah.
and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto Abraham, know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs,
Right.
and shall serve them,
Uh-huh.
and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Right.
And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge.
Where you at?
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
And afterwards they shall come out with great substance. Verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers
It
in
says, wait,
peace.
it says they should do what? Go to verse 14 again.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge. And afterwards,
Right, so are you, is he, I don't know if you're asking a question or making a statement, bro.
he was asking about verse 16.
No, I know that. I know that. But are you saying that that's not Israel? Is that what he's saying?
He said, because that wasn't us, aka Israel. It said 4 generations, we will go back to Israel.
Let's start at verse 13 again.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto Abraham,
Uh-huh.
know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Who was Abraham's seed? Anybody?
Israel.
Who?
Israel.
Who was Abraham's seed?
Israel.
Go ahead.
And shall serve them,
Right, go ahead.
and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Right, this was talking about the captivity when we went into captivity with Egypt and the Canaanites. That was 400 years. Right? Are we not in captivity now?
Gone.
In modern day spiritual Egypt? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge.
Go
And,
ahead.
and afterwards shall they come out with great substance.
Yeah, even if you look at the captivity with Egypt, what happened? The Most High judged them. When we left out of Egypt, what did it say we took?
Spoiled the Egyptians.
It said we spoiled the Egyptians. We took everything they had. Right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
Mm-hmm.
But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again.
Yeah,
For-
this is talking about Israel. It's talking about Israel. It's talking about Israel. You see that? So it's talking about both instances. We were in 2 captivities for that amount of time. So either way, it's talking about Israel. Y'all got that?
Gone.
I mean, what is it? What? Yeah. It's talking about Israel. Check something real quick. Got my little. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see his question at all for some reason. Oh, here it is. Right. Listen, let's get into the class, man. Let's get into the class. Let's have a little fun. I mean, I've been having fun already. Yeah, y'all can title this one. What's the title?
The title is.
Let's destroy the black family.
Yeah.
Right? So, Get me, let's see here. Y'all know, who knows about like the Willie Lynch document or speech or letter, right? Some say, oh, it's not real. Some say it's real. I mean, you know the beautiful thing about it is, it don't matter if it's real or not, because the way it's broken down and the way it's written, the sad part is the way we live in this country, the way we live in this society as Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we make it real. We make it real. Y'all know what I mean by that? Are y'all familiar with it?
Wow.
Y'all have never read it? No?
I've read it.
Yeah? Alright, so we're gonna read through it. We're just gonna go through it, man, and I wanna see what y'all think about it. I wanna see, because we gotta see that, real or not, this was a blueprint on how to destroy the Israelite family. This was a blueprint on how to keep you physically a physical slave, and then what? Now we're these mental slaves. You don't have to do all the physical things that they do. We're just like willing participants, right? So I'm gonna just start reading this a little bit, and then we're gonna go from there. So this was Willie Lynch. He was addressing all these slave masters on how to keep his slaves productive, right? How to keep his plantation on point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you got to do is, what do a lot of brothers say when they go to work right now? They say, I gotta go to the plantation, right? I gotta go to the slave. I gotta go to the slave job. A lot of this pertains to right now, today. All right, so I'm gonna start reading. It says, "Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems, meaning I'm not here to bring your problems out." He was letting them know, y'all know what y'all problems are, right? I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them, right? In my bag here, I have a foolproof method of controlling your black slaves, right? I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control your slaves for at least 300 years. So 300 years from that date, that was 2012. So right now we're in 2015, right? So you gotta see it.
We're in 2017.
2017. Man, I'm tripping. Bro, it's been a long time. I'm here drinking this juice, trying to keep my brain moving. Fruits and berries, antioxidants, right? Yeah, it's been a long day, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're in 2017, right? Con. So it says, my method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. When he said, think about it, he said any member of the family. So this was good for children of a slave owner to use against the slaves, right?
Con.
I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and make the differences bigger. So what he did was, he said, okay, I've outlined some differences. There's differences between these people. What? Skin color, gender, right? Some are stronger, some are weaker. So he said he's outlined the differences and he made these differences bigger. So what did he do? What did he do here automatically? Automatically classified them,
Separate.
automatically separated them. Right?
Con.
This scripture just hit me. Go to yeah, so he automatically separated them. Because in division, there's what?
There's no power.
No
There's
power in
strength.
division, right? Go to Mark. Go to Mark chapter 3 and verse 25. See, the white man, they were smart, man, in the way they dealt with us. They knew they dealt with us almost, I don't want to say biblical, but they used biblical principles and just used them harshly.
It's gonna say how we were classified.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go into that. Yeah, I'm gonna go into that. Go to Mark chapter 3 and verse 25.
Mark chapter 3, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
And if a house be divided against itself,
Right, so they realized that obviously we were already divided as people, right? We were already divided at this point. We were slaves in America. We were slaves in other countries, right? The West Indies, we were slaves. We were already divided. But they were like, well, how am I going to divide more and keep more control? When you divide, you keep control. Divide and what? Conquer,
come.
right? So it says if a house divided against itself, go ahead.
That house cannot stand.
You see that? So they knew. He knew. You classify them and divide them up. They're not going to be able to rise up and stand. There's no strength. Go to Luke 11 and verse 17. Just on the same point.
Luke 11.
Uh-huh.
Luke chapter 11, verse 17.
Go ahead.
But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Right, it says every what?
Kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Right, so every kingdom that's divided against itself is brought to desolation. Go ahead.
And a house divided against a house falleth. It's a lot.
And a house divided against a house falleth. Right. So they knew these things. Like, look, we're going to have to put them against each other. That's method number one. Marwa.
What?
That was Luke chapter 11 and verse 17. Right?
Gone.
So I'm going to jump back to the letter. So he said, I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and make the differences bigger. So if you light skinned and I'm dark skinned, I'm gonna point that out. If you weak and he's strong, I'm gonna point that out. Right? You got a different eye color, I'm gonna point that out. Different hair color, I'm gonna point that out. I'm gonna point out every difference. So now you have a reason to be opposite. Y'all get that?
Gone.
I use fear, distrust, and envy for control. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies and will work throughout the South. Take these simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age. The second is color. So we knew that every slave wasn't black as tar, right? They had different what? Colors. They had different colors. Go to real quick, since these scriptures is hitting me right now. Go to Jeremiah real quick. You get Jeremiah chapter 14. It's a basic that we always use. Because everybody, you got those Israelites that think that every tribe was like just all black as tar, that they're all gonna stay black as tar, right? Go get Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9, and then you get 14 and 2 also.
Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Right. So a speckled bird has different colors, different spots. When you even look up a speckled bird, it's like different colors of brown. Right? So the Most High said, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. Right? Go ahead.
The birds round about are against her.
Yeah. which has always been, even if you look at this letter, the birds round about are against her. They always been against us. Go to Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2.
Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2.
Go ahead.
Judah mourneth.
Go ahead. The Jews are in mourning. Our people are in a state of mourning. We're in the hoods, the ghettos, the slums. Right? Go ahead.
And the gates thereof languish.
Right, talking about our leadership. It languishes. We have no leaders. If you really want to be honest, there are no leaders to our people. I mean, if you count Beyonce and Oprah, then maybe you're in there, but right? So go ahead. I'll get to your question, Rasadine. I'll get to your question. Just give me a sec. Go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
It says they are black onto the ground. You dig up that ground, you get different shades of brown. You get different colors. Sand ain't the same color as dirt. Clay ain't the same color as sand, right? You get different colors. Jump back. Oh, no, I'll jump back. I got the letter. I got the keys, right?
Keys.
I got the keys. So he said the second is color or shade, right? So he used color as a thing to magnify, to divide. Like how brothers do it now. They use color to divide. Like, oh, you ain't dark enough to be on the, your features ain't negroid enough to be part of Israel.
Come.
You ain't dark enough. If that's the case, I'm not part of Israel because I ain't dark enough. I'm not dark enough. If you think that you know how dark we're supposed to be, I'm not black enough to be on the to be an Israelite. Ain't nobody in this room dark enough when you look at it. We all too light skinned, right? But see, this is that Negro field house nigga mentality. That you're too light, right? Or you're too dark. See, back then it was like, you're too dark, you ain't no good. Now it's, you too light, you ain't no good. You see, but it's a game they play with our people, and then you niggas just fall right into it. You fall right into it, and then you think that you know, and you don't know. Isaiah 11 and 11, Isaiah 11 and 1, right? We ain't supposed to judge off just the outward appearance only. Right? So he said he used color or shade. He said there is intelligence. So if you was dumb and another one was smarter, he'd use that. There was size. Oh, you a little man, right? Little guys, big guys.
You said shape?
Shade. Color or shade. Yeah. Different shade. Yeah. Color or shade. Size. Sex. So you divide it by sex. Right?
Come.
What else is there? He said the size of the plantation and the status on the plantations. He said the attitude of the owners. So now he's going into the slave owners and how they're separated. Whether the slaves live in the valley. So he was categorizing them where they live on the plantation. Right? Whether they lived in the valley, on a hill, whether they lived on the east, the west, the north, or the south. Mm-hmm. Right? So he used every little instance to try to divide. To put, we do it now. It's like, I live on the south side. Well, I live on the north side. Well, we got a gangbang now. Because I live on the north side and you live on the south side, so we have to fight over direction.
Right.
We got to fight over what direction you live in. It's wild, man, but look, again, I don't care how real you think this is or not, look at it. We live our lives according to this mentality, right? If they have fine hair or coarse hair, so what is it saying that not every slave had that kinky hair, right? That some of them have finer hair. Or is tall or short. So he was categorizing them according to height. He says, now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. Check this out. And envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. You see that? The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. So he was basically saying, once you hit them with this, once you hit them with this doctrination that I'm about to hit y'all with, once you implement this, the slaves, it's going to get to the point where, guess what? You don't have to whip them into slavery. I mean, ain't that what's going on right now? Niggas got Stockholm syndrome, man. They got Willie Lynch syndrome. They just love running the master. They love believing everything that the white man says, right? If the white man said it, it's gospel. If it comes from a black or Hispanic mouth, we don't want to hear that. What's up?
That's like on like those videos on YouTube. Like they had to get Esau to admit that we're Israel, and then Israel believes that. It's like, oh, the white dude said it on the YouTube, so it must be real.
Right. That's the point. That's the point. It's like if the white man don't say it, then it ain't real. But if he says it, then it gotta be real. Cause why? Supposedly he has all the knowledge, right? He has all the wisdom. He made himself God. He made himself Jesus. He made himself Moses. He made himself everything. Mm-hmm. See, and the point of this class, we're gonna go into, we're gonna focus in on the sisters, the women, and see what did this do to the women? What did this do to the women of our people? And how it changed. You gotta understand, this right here and this mentality literally changed the world. It changed the world. It changes the course of the way things ought to be. Right? So it said, black slaves are, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling. So you're like this, you ever watch anybody ever watch the movie Snowpiercer? With the train that just circled the earth? Right? It just circled the earth every 365 days it circled the earth. Because the earth froze over, right? So all they did was live on this train. Okay. But this train was like a self-generating, it had a self-refueling motor, it was like nuclear powered. It just ran itself. That's what these slaves, that's what we turned into. These people that just self-motivating after a while. It's like, damn, I know I'm in slavery, but I gotta get up and go to it. Because if I don't, I ain't gonna get paid, or I ain't gonna get this, or you see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get my health insurance, or master's gonna beat me.
And in that movie, that train was divided.
And that train was divided. Good point. That train was divided into sections, where you had all the lower class passengers in the last 3 or 4 carts, or the last cart actually, and then you had different carts for different things. You had like the party cart. You had like the bar cart. You had like the school, what was one cart for the kids, the food, the aquaponics. It's a crazy movie. They basically had a city on a cart, on a train. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
What's the name of it?
The Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
It's actually a book that they wrote. But it's like one of those little end of the world movies. You know, those end times.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm weird though. Right? So he said, don't forget. Check this out. Here's an important point. Here's the point. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young male. Right? And the young black male against the old black male. So now, think about it. You got the old male going against the young male. The young male going against the old male. So there's no order. Right? There's no order. It's chaos. The young male feels like what? Now he got no one to teach him. You see that? And the young male ain't got no guide. Because why? He's warring. It ain't no different from your little Crips and Bloods, right? What you got? You got the young gunners fighting against the OGs, right? But then let's take it to the black family in the house. You got the father, right, working, busting his ass if he's there. But then you got the son, he's getting into all these things out in the streets, brings that home, pops is checking him. It's like, well, I'm a man too. I can't be checked. Right? Does that not happen?
Con.
Yeah. So we got to see, man, that they instilled this into us during, there's a lot of things that was instilled in us during this time. It says, you must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves. And the light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slave. So again, we weren't all one color. We weren't all as black as this microphone, right? There were lighter-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. Right? Somebody get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56. Actually, you can actually get, Deuteronomy 28 verse 56. See, now we go into these things that were supposed to happen to us because we didn't listen to the laws of the Most High, right? You could actually start at verse 54.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54.
Uh-huh.
So the man that is tender among you and very delicate,
Right?
his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
Right, you see that? So the man that is, not talking about a homosexual man, but a man that had compassion for his wife, for his brother, for his children. Go ahead.
And towards the wife of his bosom.
Right, there it is. So let's put the wife against the husband. Let's put the husband against the wife. Go ahead.
And towards the remnant of his children.
And against the children. Go ahead.
Which he shall leave.
Go ahead.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat.
Right? And this was talking about that siege on Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Because he had nothing left him in the siege.
Right. And I mean, look, think about it, man. If you look at it in today's society, first of all, the black man ain't even around to give anything to his children. He ain't around to take nothing from his children. The Mexicans, Hispanics, Native, they're not around to do these things. They're not even around. They already just said, you know what? I'm just gonna leave. Right. I ain't gonna be around to even not give them anything. Right? Read on.
And in the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
Right? Because even in this time, we're so distressed as people, it's all about let me fend for myself. Let me do for me. The black woman is distressed to the point where if it ain't about government assistance, food stamps, and making sure that the household is set up because the man ain't there, she's in panic. She's in utter chaos. Because this is another tool that they gave her to get the black man out the house. Y'all see that?
God.
Go ahead.
In all thy gates.
Uh-huh.
Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness.
Right, because at this time, or before this time in Deuteronomy, our women, they were tender and delicate. They weren't running around acting like damn men, beastly, manly spirits, right? They weren't, oh, I'm all independent. I can do it all by myself. I don't need no man. They were tender and delicate. They were women. They were women. They acted as such. But see now, this right here, this Willie Lynch, it shows you how they pulled the feminine side out of a woman and made her into a man. Right? He said it. We're going to put them against each other. That's one. Continue on.
And tenderness.
Right?
Her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
What's going to happen?
Her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
Yeah, see, her eye was going to be evil. They were going to fight. They were going to have all these disputes. Nothing was going to be harmony. You know, you think about it, man. I got family members that they get with somebody, they get married, and they break up a year later. 2 years later. You wasn't meant to get with a person just to break up. What's the point? But see, according to the prophecy, that eye was going to be evil. Every little thing this man does, you looking at it sideways. Every little thing your wife does, you got to check and look. You got to look at it with an evil eye. Because there's no trust, right? That's the main thing. There's no trust. But what did he say here? He said envy. He said envy. Where's it at? It's very perfect. That's it. Find it real quick. Yeah, he said, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. You see that? So to distrust each other was going to be stronger. It was going to cause even more of a separation. Did you finish that?
La.
Go ahead.
And towards her sons, and towards her daughters.
Right. Yeah. And we're going to go into that about the woman and her son. It's important because that evil eye towards your son and towards your daughter, we're going to see what it did for the black family. We'll finish reading on here. So it says, you must also have you white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. So basically he was saying, listen, you got to have all your servants immediately have an evil eye towards the blacks. They automatically got to be suspect. They got to automatically have that evil suspicion against them. That's that way. If you think they're stealing, you talk, hey, what you stealing? It ain't no, I thought he was stealing, but I'm not going to talk about it to him and just let him go. No, I'm going to check every little thing to keep him in line. Y'all see that?
Gone.
It says, it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love and respect and trust us only. So what's the problem with that? What's the problem with that? Who knows? What are they doing here?
They're in the mind state to separate us.
Right.
To make us think we shouldn't trust each other.
Right.
But somehow, some way, we should trust them. They're the ones who really are manipulating the situation.
Right. So the total control is in their hands, but they're dividing two ways. What are they doing? Answer the question. If y'all can answer the question, what are they doing? What are they dividing? We know they're dividing us against each other, right? But what's the most important division here? Huh?
They're dividing the house.
Well, yeah, we know that, but what's the most important division?
The ways of the Most High.
Thank you. They're dividing us. Think about it. It says, it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us, right? They must love, respect, and trust us only. Get Jeremiah 17 and verse 5.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
Cursed be the what?
Cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
Yeah, right. Now we see why this Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56 is so live, because cursed be the man. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 56 was a curse. That was one of them. But it said, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Go ahead.
And maketh flesh his arm.
Right. They must depend on us. So you making the flesh your armor. You see that? You making flesh your armor. See, let's take it in today's world. Does not the black woman do that? Black, Hispanic, Native American woman, do they not do that? They don't trust in the Most High, right? What are they trusting? What's that?
That was right there.
Listen, they trusting that EBT card, right? They trusting them food stamps. They trusting that TANF, right? They trusting that Section 8. I think that's all the same, I think. No? Oh, okay.
All government
But they trust in the government. They trust in the government. It's right here. They must love, respect, and trust us only. The majority of the women out here in the world, that's all they do is trust in the government only. The government pays my bills, so I'm gonna do what they say. The government gives me food stamps, so guess what? I'm gonna do what they say. Oh, I can't have no man living here with me, and I'm on Section 8. Guess what? You can't stay. Food stamps, you can't be here. No, I can't put you on my food stamps. Because if they find out that you're here, I'm out. Food stamps gone. Section 8 gone. So guess what? You gotta go. I can't put my trust in the black man, the Hispanic man. I gotta put my trust in the plastic, in the EBT, the food stamp card, right? I gotta put my trust in the fact that I get my tan if I gotta go get my hair done, my nails done. That's what I gotta put. I gotta put my trust in child support. Instead of trying to work it out with you, I know we got like 30 kids. I know I got 30 kids by 30 niggas, but guess what? Instead of trying to work it out, I'm gonna make sure that my rent gets paid through government assistance. But see, in that, read it again.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
So that's why these sisters are cursed. That's why when their children grow up, they turn into little demons. They birth little monsters. You birth a monster and then there's nothing there to correct that little gremlin. So he runs around, hangs out with the homeboys, gets him a gun, starts robbing people, shooting, selling drugs, because there was no guide there. It's a curse. It's a curse not to know your daddy. It's a curse to grow up the way we grow up. It's a curse to have to depend on drugs, right? And guns. It's a curse. It's a thing that will never stop until we get right. You see that? Read on.
And maketh flesh his arm.
Right?
And whose heart departeth from the Lord.
Yeah, because this was the whole purpose, was to get our minds to depart from the Most High. This is how you destroy the black family. This is how you destroy the Israelite family. You take that mind off the Most High, but you have to take that hedge away. You got to take that strong tower, that strong man. You got to bind up the strong man. Right? You got to bind him up, and you'll be able to ransack and pillage that house. Right? Go to Matthew 12 and 29. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 29. Actually, Mark 3 and 27. Get that one, but that one's better. Right to the point. Mark chapter 3 and verse 27. So we're seeing, man, there was a blueprint on how to literally destroy and keep us in slavery in this country. There was a literal blueprint. And the sad part is they don't need the blueprint no more. We just go right along. We right in the hamster wheel. We'll read that.
Mark 3, verse 27.
Go ahead.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Right, because we were the strong man. When we were strong, we had the wisdom, knowledge of the Most High. Right? That's what makes us strong. Go ahead.
And spoil his goods.
And spoil his goods. The goods. Everything in the house. From your actual goods, food, whatever, to your family. Why think the families are spoiled? The children are spoiled. Because there's no one there to make sure they're not. There's no strong man. Go ahead.
Except he will first bind the strong man.
You got to do what?
Bind the strong man.
Right, you got to do, now they don't even got to bind it. Just get them out of here. Look, we're going to give you an EBT card. And pay your rent. Pick wherever you want to live that's in a budget of $1,000 and we got you. Ain't that how it works? Go sign up for a little lotto. You gotta make sure it's under $10.50, right? $10.50 a month, but we'll get you. We'll pay like $9.50 of that. and chicks be loving it. They be eating it up. Like, damn girl, they paying my rent $9.50. My spot is $1,000 a month. They paying $9.50. It's like, damn, you rather that than a man? Go right ahead, sis. But that's why your children are spoiled. Go ahead.
And then he will spoil his house.
Yeah, that's how the house of Israel is spoiled. Because there's no men with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding around their children. You see that? I'm going to jump back to this. It says, gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. For if used intensely for 1 year, so this was the 1 year program, how to get a nigga right for 300 years. Think about it. We are that simple, where it took them 1 year to get us into a mental slavery for 300, 400 years. Come on, man, we got to do better. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful of each other. So now that I can't trust you, I can't depend on you, I'm going to tell on you when you're doing something wrong. What it was, they were using us to keep us in check for them. Because they didn't want to keep us in check. So they were like, look, how do we keep the slaves in check? How do we keep them checking one another? Well, we're going to divide them, conquer, show them their imperfections, or what seem to be imperfections, use that against them, make one feel like he's better than the other. But guess what? It happens today. Niggas be on the job. What we call them? Coons, right? You got that one brother that's always up his slave master's backside. Always looking at what you doing. Always ready to tattletale and snitch on you. You might have shown up to work a half a second late. And he telling, what's that?
You want me to block the...
Is he still out here?
Yes.
Is he, what's he talking about? Yeah, you can block him. You can block him. You can definitely get him up out of here. Rasadine, I will get to your question. Give me a sec. I'll get to your question. Right? What was I saying? See, these distractions, man, they come. These damn spirits. They try to distract. But it says the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful of one another. Right? And like I was saying, we do it today. We do it today, man. We do it at the job. I mean, we do it in the house where there's no trust in the household. Your man step out to go handle some business, and you sitting there in your mind, you might not say nothing, but in your mind, you're like, I wonder where he's going. I wonder where he's about to be with. Who's he gonna be with? Where's he at? And it's like, why you beating yourself up over that? Let him go handle the business, and he'll be back. You know, not every man is out there running around with 50 million women. It's just not like that.
But that only happens to women that are not busy.
It only happens to women that are not busy. Yeah, because they're not doing what? They're not doing their role.
Yeah, because if you're dealing with kids and your job in the house, there's no way you have time to figure out
What this man is doing. Yeah, you don't even have the chance to give it a thought. But see, that's the problem with this society. All it's about is work, and I'm gonna go home, social media it up, catch my favorite show, worry about my man. But while I'm at work, since I'm playing on my phone, I'm trying to check his GPS to see where it says he's at. Oh, that's where his ex lives at. Damn. But guess what? He wasn't checking for the ex. He had to just run down there to the store real quick, because that's his favorite spot where he eats at, right by her house. You know, it'd be little things like that, but the distrust is so real. The distrust is so real that what happens now? He comes home, the first thing, oh, you was down by that BITCH's house, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, what? Just ate a burrito. Just eating a burrito. Right?
Forgot she lived over there.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought, yeah. How you know she live over there? That's the one that, like, how you know? Right? But see, is that what they were building, something. They were building that evil suspicion within us. They were building that evil suspicion in us, and that's what keeps us down. Go there real quick. Go to Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 24.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 24.
Go ahead.
For many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
Yeah, see what they were trying to do, and that's what happens in the black household, man. Sisters build up this vain opinion that ain't got no valor, it ain't got no substance, right? Go ahead.
And an evil suspicion.
Now they got evil suspicions about what their man is doing, where he's at, who he was with, blowing up his phone every 5 seconds, until it's like, get out. That's basically what it goes from. Where you going? Where you at? Get out. Right? Go ahead.
Hath overthrown their judgment.
Right, but your judgment is being overthrown. You're not judging things accordingly. You're not judging things with any type of wisdom. So now you just lost the hedge in your house because you like, where you at? Who you with? Or he's like, man, this chick's always blowing up my phone. She's always going through my phone. I gotta get away from this. I gotta get up out of here. And what does his ass do? He just dips off. I'm about to go get cigarettes. 30 years later, him ain't come back. 30 years later, he's still getting cigarettes. I'm about to hit the store 30 years later. It's like, damn, he went for cigarettes 30 years ago. Man, where's your pops at? He went to the store like 30 years ago, dog. I heard that one time. Killed me. I was like, damn. You serious? Like, yeah, you hear that though. It happens.
Right.
But it starts with these little things that's been instilled inside of us. And then what do? We just carry it through generations and generations and just sit on it and let it build and grow like a weed, man. I'm gonna jump back. So here it is. This is where it starts. It says, let us make a slave. Let us make a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger man. That's one. You need a black Negro, right? You need a black man. 2, a pregnant nigger woman and her baby nigger boy, right? Or girl. So you need those 3 things. So you need the black family. You need the black family. But the reason why he was pointing out a pregnant woman, right? A pregnant woman and the boy, you're gonna see because these played important parts in what they were trying to build. It says, second, we use the same basic principles that we use in breaking a horse. So they equated us to horses. Strong as hell physically, but headstrong also. An unbroken horse is headstrong. Mm-hmm. Unbroken, anybody ever rode a horse in here?
No.
I never rode one, but I seen a horse being broke. Listen, were you there that time?
When was that?
In MacArthur Park?
Yeah.
When the horse tried to run him into the tree?
Yeah.
Dude, the horse tried to kill itself to get this dude off him. He's riding the horse down. There's a low line, there's a low branch. The horse ain't stupid. He's like, I'm gonna get this dude off. And he ran him under the branch and he had to duck down. And the horse barely ducked, but I was like, dude, the horse almost killed you. He's like, yeah, I gotta ride her down. I gotta break her. He was riding her. He was riding her.
It was like, you can see his tire, like it was like slumping in the bed.
Yeah, the horse was tired as hell. He was riding her down. He did not care. He did not care, but she was still trying to be like, nah, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna get me. I'm gonna run you into a tree. I'm gonna slam on the brakes. All that. He was like, nope, I'm gonna win. So they equated us to horses, right? It says, we use the same basic principles that we use in breaking a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. What we do with the horse is that we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state in nature. So the natural state of a horse is to do what? Run free. Wild as a horse. Right? Just run around and do his thing. Right? But what was the natural state of a man? What was the natural state of the Israelite man?
To be the head of his house.
To be the head of his house. Right? What else? Keep the commandments. Right? What was Adam's job? What was Adam given?
Dominion.
Adam was given dominion, right? The natural state Check it out. Go to Psalms 82. Go to Psalms 82.
Psalms chapter 8, verse 2. Where did you say 82?
Psalms 8 and verse 2. There's no 82. 82 and verse 6.
Oh, I got it.
Slide it.
Read. Read.
Go ahead.
I have said, ye are gods.
You are what?
Gods.
So that what was our natural state?
Gods.
Right. We were gods because we had the commandments of the Most High. I'm not saying that we were God. I'm not saying that. But we were gods. Right? Because we had the commandment, let us make man in our image in our own likeness. So we were like the Most High. Go ahead. We had the dominion. Go ahead.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
Right. And we were children of the Most High. Most importantly. Right? Why? Hold where you at. Go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 14. So our natural state were to be gods on this earth. We're to have dominion over everything, over all people. So they said, just like a horse that's supposed to run free and run wild, we're going to take the Israelite man out of his natural state. Right? Read that. Romans chapter 8 and verse 14.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God.
Right, so if you're led by the Spirit of the Most High, right, which we know only Israelite men can be led by the Spirit, okay? Throw that disclaimer in there. The Spirit, the wisdom, it was given to Israel, to Jacob. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Go ahead.
They are the sons of God.
Right, so we led by the Spirit. That's how we're the sons of God. Okay? Jump back to Psalms. Jump back to Psalms real quick. So we're learning our natural state. They knew that they had to take us out of our natural state. They had to take the black man out of his natural state of guiding his household. Right? They had to take him out of the order of God, Christ, man, woman, child. You see that?
Come.
Read Psalms 82 and verse 6 again.
I have said, ye are gods.
Right?
And all of you are children of the Most High.
Go ahead.
But ye shall die like men.
But you shall what?
Die like men.
Well, you shall die like men. Why? Because we left off the commandment. Right? I mean, and obviously we've been going through this kind of topic for the last couple of classes, but we know in Wisdom of Solomon, the Most High said he didn't create us to sin. He created us to be immortal. But since we wanted to adopt sin, that's where the death came in. So he said, you are gods, but all of you are children of the Most High, but you shall die like men. So they knew that. They got to take us off our natural state. They got to take us down. Right? So I'm going to jump back. You can drop that. So it says, what do we do with the horse? It's as we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state and nature. Right? Whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take care of their offspring. So that's one thing. They took away the capacity for the black woman to take care of her offspring. We break the natural string of independence from them and thereby create a dependency status. Just like today, the Israelite woman is dependent on what? The government. They depend more on that, or their job. They depend more on these two things than they do on the man. That's why they say, I don't need a man. I don't need a man because guess what? I got my job, got my house, got my car, right? Got my all my little shoes and clothes, and I got the battery operated toy, right? I got I got that, so I'm good. I don't need no man. So she's taken out of her natural course. So that, I'm going to jump back. It says, so that we may be able to get from them useful production for our own business and pleasure. Check this out. So you remove the black man. Now comes in what?
White daddy.
White daddy. The white superhero in the Superman tights. Right? Here to save the day. Dun, 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 dun. Next thing you know, we're gonna remove the black man, give the black woman all the toys and things that she needs to think that she needs to survive. But then guess what? We know that she still needs a man, so guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna present ourselves as that man. Right? So then what happens? No more Israelite babies. They all coming out from the other nations. Right? You gotta see the plan here. You gotta see it. Right? I'm going to jump down. Yeah, I never really read this in its entirety, so I was reading it today. This thing was knocking me down. I was like, damn. It says, cardinal principles for making a Negro. It says, for fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both of the beasts together, the nigger and the horse. So they basically equated us to beasts, right? We understand that short-range planning economics results in periodic economic chaos. So that to avoid turmoil in the economy, it requires us to have breadth and depth in long-range comprehensive planning. So they talk about, we gotta make sure that this plan is a long-range plan, right? It gotta be something that stands the test of time. Hasn't it?
Gone.
Hasn't it? Don't they still got slaves today? Mentally? I keep saying it. It works so well, you ain't gotta get whooped to go serve the master. You ain't even gotta get whooped for a woman to say, I don't need no man, I don't need the black man. Get out my house. I'm gonna still be nagging and overbearing. I'm gonna try to run things. I'm gonna usurp the authority. And all they gotta do is give you the card that says, what does it say on it now? I don't know. EBT?
It says star.
Star card? Yeah. All they gotta do is give you the red, white, and blue star card. It's red, white, and blue, ain't it?
Yeah.
You got a red star in it, don't it?
Yeah.
I've seen them. Yeah. All you gotta do is give them the star card, and guess what? The man is gone. Right? Let's see here. Both horse and niggers is no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. Because what good is a black man that knows who the hell he is? A black man that knows who he is rules over you. A black man that knows who he is rules the world. And in turn, keeps his family ruled and has his house in order, right? So now he's no longer profitable to this society. Like us in here, right? Like us in here, right?
Gone.
I hope so. We shouldn't be profitable to this society. They shouldn't look at us like, oh yeah, I'm gonna profit off this person's labor or mind. Because we understand that the works that we put in, yeah, we gotta, some of us gotta go to our jobs for these nations, but the real work is for Christ. The real work is for the Most High, right?
Gone.
God. It says, because the horse and nigger is no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. Both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. So that's where you get your slave and that horse, that plow, right?
Were we already broken once we were sold into this slavery?
To a point, but not to this point. Not to this point, because think about it. They had to whip a lot of things into us and whip a lot of things out of us. You know, we came to America. You ever seen the movie Roots? Where it was whooping Kunta.
Toby.
It was whooping Toby. It was whooping him. It was whooping Toby into him, right?
God.
What's your name, boy? It was whipping his language out of him and whipping. Are we gonna go into that too? Tell us about it.
You're saying that this may or may not be real, right?
Well, a lot of people say that Willie Lynch, like, it's something that's made up, as far as these letters that this man, he dropped this speech back in the 1700s.
If let's take Israel, at what point did he write this? How long have we already been in slavery, bro?
305 years.
So he wrote it after 300 of us began slavery?
So 2012 would be 300 years from when he
What
wrote
I'm
it.
asking is like, how long were slaves already in place before he thought about?
About 100 years. He already had his plantations. And even if you look according to the scriptures, we're already in like the 400 years of captivity to this nation. 430, so it's pretty close. But he was, I mean, think about it. He probably had his little plantation and he was testing different things, testing different theories, and said, damn, this works. So now I'm gonna bring it to the rest of these guys. Because he had his plantations in the Caribbean. And that's where the first slavery started. Slavery started in the Caribbean before it started in the United States.
Oh, like where?
Like you had Hispaniola. That's where Columbus ran into the natives. He made them slaves. But he probably didn't perfect it like this guy perfected it. And that's the thing. Columbus made them slaves, but what was he doing? He was cutting their feet off and cutting their arms off. You don't got good slaves if you got to decapitate them and mutilate them. They ain't gonna be able to carry or pick up anything or do anything. You just got them chained to a damn wall, right? So he was coming up with this game plan of not just slavery for the next 5-6 years. How do I keep this slavery going for my children and children's children's and children? Yeah.
And I was gonna say, even today you see mostly so-called Hispanics and blacks in prison, so
Right.
that's keeping them from,
Right. Oh, think about it. Prison is slavery. Because what do they have in prison? They have a labor force in prison. What do they make?
$1.
They make clothing. They make the license. That was the big thing, the license plates. Right? But now they use them for labor. To build things. I mean, even the slaves back in the day, they used them to build all these little Ivy League colleges. Princeton, Harvard, Yale, those were built by slaves, free of charge.
And until they pretty much help clean up.
Yeah, they go out there. Yeah, they clean up. They got the little yellow flak jackets on, right? Listen. I drove by a train track the other day. What train track was it? It's only like one train track. I think it was right here. And there was a guard with 3 inmates chained up, and they was working on the track.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't no deja vu. It wasn't no. Nah, they was chained up and they were doing some type of labor, like some inmate out work program. They do that here. They do that in Texas. They do that all in Virginia, Mississippi. You be on the chain gang, baby. You be on the chain gang. Jail is another form, and that's another thing. They set us up. They set the kids up to just be in jail from birth all the way through high school. It's a plan to get you into jail. You go to your little elementary school. You get your one recess. How long is recess these days?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. How long is rec time?
Oh, you know, in the prisons you get because I watched this movie with this white guy who went to jail and he became a gangster. They take you outside to go in circles because it's supposed to be good for your health.
Yeah.
Look to them. They gotta do 2 laps. The kids, they'll have to do 2 laps before
Before they get back inside?
they do anything else.
Are you serious? They make you run.
You don't have to run, but you have to.
But you gotta walk or do 2 laps. Yeah, like if you watch like Orange is the New Black, they put the track out there and they say it helps improve. Like that was a big thing. They were saying in that show they were ready to close down or dig up the track that they used to run around. They were fighting it like, no, that helps improve like inmate behavior and morality. It helps keep the morality up. Think about it. It was breeding our kids to go fill up a penitentiary. Come on, you go to school, you go to jail. You go to school, if you're there long enough, you get 3 meals. You got breakfast, they got lunch, and then they got the after school program.
Yeah.
They serve food there. Yeah, it's paper sack lunch with an apple, right? That's what they hit you with in jail. They start taking away the fruit though, because cats was turning that into hooch. So they stopped giving them fruit, right? Because they were turning the fruits into toilet liquor. Moonshine, yeah, right in the toilet. Fermenting them fruits and getting wasted. But you gotta see the parallels, man. When it started back, when I say it started back for us in America, it started at this time. All right. It says both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. So they basically breaking a horse and breaking a man at the same time, because they use these men to produce with these horses, right? For orderly future, special and particular attention, check this out, must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and division of labor. Because you know why? You know what this is saying, what you women don't understand? That y'all got the keys. The women got the keys. Not saying that y'all have the authority over the man, but y'all have the keys to the household. You got the keys to the children. You got the keys to the house. The man is in control, or should be, but guess what? You got the keys. If you understand what that means.
Blush.
Because why? If a man is on his job, is he gonna be at the house 24/7? Should he be at the house 24/7? Let's take it to an Israelite man, a priest of the Most High. Where's his house? What house is he always concerned about?
The house of the Lord.
Flock, right? So his house can't be the main focus. So now here comes the woman. That's why I say she has the keys, because if she's doing things right, then that house, his house, will function properly. But if she's not in order, his house is gonna fall.
For example, in my house, because I was gone.
Right.
And somebody asked me, do the kids ever miss them? And I said, of course, but they never like, where's my daddy at? Because
Right.
when they ask me, I tell them this is what he's doing, and I don't talk crap about him. Like, yeah, that nigga's not here.
Right, he ain't here, and he's just busy teaching everybody else.
He's not worried about us.
Yeah.
They know what he's doing, so they never figure, well, my dad's not here.
Right. And then when he is here, he's putting that time in with them as much as possible, as much time as an Israelite man can put in with his kids when they're not in school and when he's not in class or teaching. And that's, it's a hard balance. But, I always say this, that when a man is doing for the Most High, everything else is going to be taken care of in a way where he don't have to always be there to oversee. The things that were instilled in his family will take precedence, as long as he's doing the right thing. Obviously, if Kazak was off just tricking, right, the household wouldn't function, right? It wouldn't function because there's a lot of things that wouldn't be instilled. That fear of the Most High wouldn't be instilled. You staying on top of your job and doing what you got to do. He wouldn't care what you were doing. But no matter what, he ain't here, but he's still here, right?
And that's what I was saying, that because if the woman is in the right mind, understands his job, then she
Wait, she has to do what?
understand him and
You said she has to. So the woman, not only that's why I say the woman got the keys. They knew this. Because once the woman understands her job and understands her man's job, go ahead.
then she's not going to show the kids any frustration, or she's going to show them this is what's going on, and the kids are going to believe the mom because the mom is the truth for them.
Right.
So it's up to us how we paint this man.
Right, because you can paint a man, no matter what a man's doing, you can paint him in a negative light.
He can even be evil, and I could be like, you know what, Dad, he's just busy.
Yeah.
It's up to me what I want to say about
Right.
my kids.
Right. He could be on point. You can paint him evil. He could be the worst nigga in the world, and you can paint him good.
Maybe, right?
It just depends on what you want to put out there. But see, they understood this. They understood this, that the control as far as the children and how they came up stemmed from the woman. It all ultimately came down and trickled from the man, but the woman was the hands-on. It's just like when you deal with creation. The Most High gave the word, Christ and the angels did it. The man gives the word, the woman does it. And it goes to the kids, right? They understood this. That's why they said we must pay special and particular attention, must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety of division of labor. Give me Ecclesiastes 30 and verse 8 real quick. As you see what I'm doing, I'm reading, but I'm throwing a couple of scriptures in there to try to bring it more to light and show you that the scriptures ain't no comic book, man. It's real and they're applicable in all situations. Oh. Ecclesiasticus 30 and verse 8 in your pocket for read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
And horse not broken becometh headstrong.
And they understood this. They were like, we gotta break this nigger and this horse. We gotta break these things because why? They'll become headstrong. They'll start to think for themselves and try to get out of the situations and do not what we want them to do. Go ahead.
And a child left to himself will be willful.
Yeah, if we leave these cats alone and don't instill some principles in them, guess what? They're gonna become willful. They're gonna have the will to want to escape. They're gonna have the will not to do our will. You see that? So they understood that they gotta break. You gotta break this horse. You gotta break this man. That's it on that. I'm gonna jump back. It says, both must be taught to respond to a particularly new language. Psychological and physical instruction of containment must be created for both. We hold 6 cardinal principles as truth to be self-evident. Based upon the following, the discourse concerning the economics of breaking and tying the horse and the nigger together, all inclusive of the 6th principle laid down about. No, neither principle alone will suffice for good economics. All principles must be employed for the orderly good of the nation. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or nature nigger is dangerous even if captured, for they will have the tendency to seek their customary freedom. So they understood they gotta instill all these different principles in us and break our will, because why? A horse that's not broken is gonna be headstrong. A child left to himself will be willful. They were trying to break our will to escape. What they call it? Stockholm syndrome. Where you get captured, you've been with your captor so long, now you have sympathy for your captor. You don't want to leave him. And then when they get caught, you're like, no. You feel bad and you're sad and you're scared because you've been with this person. You start to sympathize and empathize with this person. Emotions start to get involved. So they knew they had to break the will for us to escape. Let's take it to today. How is the will to escape broken from our people, from the woman, to escape the grips of the government and society? How is it broken? Who knows?
Turn it back to the book.
Say it again?
Turn it back to the book.
Well, that's how you do break it, but how's the black woman's will broken from now I gotta believe in the Most High, I gotta follow my man, I gotta raise my children. How is that broken out of her today? Yeah.
Oh, by giving her stuff, saying that she can do it herself.
Right. What do you empower her?
Yeah, empower.
You empower her to now make the money. Forget about the food stamps. We know that ain't working no more. All niggas do is sell food stamps anyway, right? So it's like, well, guess what? Now let's give her equal pay. Let's give her equal rights. Let's make her the man. Forget about the man. Let's make her the man. Let's give her the pants. That's how the will is broken, because now she don't gotta change back to what she was. She can just be something else. She can be the thing that we want her to be. She can be what she wants to be. We're gonna make her the man. That's the problem with the black woman today. They all want to be the man. Hispanic women, man, y'all really got it bad. Y'all, the Hispanic women, bro. Wow, y'all are a doozy. Y'all be running y'all's men. You see it. I do want to come over to the cart, smell some fragrances, get him a nice smell. He got a little Mexican on his arm. She pulling him. No, babe. Come on. Like he's a dog. Like, what the hell is going on here? I don't care what state of mind I've ever been in. I was never able to get pulled around by no woman. I'm sorry. It just was not in me to just be pulled around through the mall. Come on. Think about it. Like, we're going to go here. No, you're going to go there, and I'm going to go sit at the nearest TV, catch the game.
Right.
Or whatever. I'm going to go do whatever the hell I want to go do over here while you go look at clothes. Shwashna.
We, without words, are taught to mother our men because...
You're taught to what?
To mother them.
Why?
Because we know better than them.
Wait, you said, wait, start over.
We without our moms actually saying that,
Oh, yeah, okay.
we're taught to mother our men because we are better, we know better, we're smarter, we know what's best. So
Yeah, you're mothering a big ass baby because that's what the black Hispanic man was made into. A big child. So now it's like, well, I gotta be his mom and his wife? That don't make no damn sense.
That's why they always mad.
Yeah, that's why the black man is mad as hell. He's like, bruh, get out my damn business. Right? Leave me the hell alone for like 2.5 seconds. Let me breathe. Let me walk in the house, right? Let me might take a shower, wash off my day off of me, throw on some sweats, a t-shirt, right? Let me chill for like 2 seconds before I walk in and you're like, can you do this? What about this? How come you didn't do this? And it's not like, babe, I'm coming to you in like humility and sincerity. It's like, nigga, why didn't you do that? Nigga this, nigga that. I'm like, damn. Listen, I used to live with my uncle. I used to live with my aunt and my uncle. And man, I don't know how he did it, but he would walk in the door. Now I understood why he would come home at the time, like come home late or try not to be at home. Because if he was at home and he got caught by the wife, bro, she did not stop. I'm talking about for hours. I mean, and when I say literally hours, and he would just be sitting there in front of the TV. He like to clear his throat a lot. So you just hear, and she just going in. You didn't do this. You didn't do this. She would dip off for like 5 minutes, come back. Oh yeah, and I'm like, damn. I was 16 and I was like, dude, I would never want to get married.
Man, a situation like that's like
that's new real.
well, no, that's like provoking an animal at the zoo or something, and it's just sitting there taking it, and then all of a sudden it lash out and kill you.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, he didn't do that.
I know.
But they ain't together after like 30 years of marriage. I'm like, how did you last 30 years with that? Because it didn't just start when you got to, like, they came from Jamaica. But I'm like, that didn't just start when you got here to America.
Right.
That been in her. Because why? Nobody showed her, like, look, that's not the role. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. He just came home from a hard-ass day at work, 12, 15 hours, and you just grilling into him about things about the house that don't really even matter. Just because you want to talk and have your way and usurp that authority that was given way back when. You're going to go back to it, right? So it says, did you have your hand up, Shwashana? No? Okay, it says, yeah, for they will have the tendency to seek their customary freedom, because that was the natural state of a man and a horse, to be free. It says, and in doing so might kill you in your sleep. So this was a preventative measure for, think about it. Anybody see the movie Birth of a Nation?
Come.
And what did Nat Turner do with all the slaves? They went in the midst of the night and killed all them slave owners, the children, the women, in their beds. Because that was the easiest way to get them. They knew they couldn't fight them during the day, so they had to surprise attack them. So this is what he was trying to prevent, right? It says you cannot rest. They sleep while you're awake, and you're awake while you sleep. And they're awake while you sleep. They are dangerous near the family house, and it requires too much labor to watch them. away from the house. Above all, you cannot get them to work. Think about it. It says, above all, you cannot get them to work in its natural state. A wild horse don't want to have nobody riding it. A man that's a god and dominion over the earth don't want nobody to have dominion over him.
Right.
Because it's going against nature. Right? So they're basically showing, look, this is how you take things out of the natural state. Hence, both horse and nigger must be broken. That is, breaking them from one form of mental life to another. So they physically broke us and mentally broke us. Keep the body, take the mind. Right? In other words, where's it at? Keep the body, take the mind. In other words, break the will to resist. Our people don't even resist these days. It's like, oh, well, they're paying me $7.50 an hour, so I gotta be there. I'm getting health insurance that I'm paying $500 a month for. It's more than my paycheck, but I gotta be there. I gots to be there, dog. I gotta go to work. I gotta get this paper, right? The black woman. Well, they're giving me food stamps, so I can't have no man at the house. Well, nigga, you gonna have to find somewhere else to live. They paying my rent, so you know you ain't supposed to be here, right? As soon as he start tripping out, or as soon as he try to lay down some rules, what does she do? Call the cops. She calling the law. Or as soon as he don't show up when she want him to be somewhere, what she do? I'm putting you on child support. Oh, come on, man. Child support is like, it's one of those weapons that women use, man. It's sad, right? Let's see here. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring of the horse and nigger. A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Check this out. It says, pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. Because they knew, listen, you break these old ass horses, these old men, right? You gonna break them, but what are they gonna do? They hand it down to the children. You hand it to the children, what are the children gonna do? They're gonna live 30, 40, 50, 60 years with these broken principles handed down to their kids. Proverbs 22 and verse 6. So it says, pay a little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. So we gotta understand the woman was important because the woman was supposed to be doing what? Guiding the household. That was her only job. Guide the house, raise the children, make sure they were okay. It wasn't to be the man like how y'all want to be now. It wasn't to assume a man's role like how they tell you to do now. Now they tell you to be the man and the woman. Freak in the bed? Nah, that's something different.
Yeah.
I gotta make a new saying for that, like lady in the bed and man in the streets. Right. You a lady at the, because that's what they want you to be. They want you to be a freak in the bed, but a man in the streets. Right? Have that manly spirit. Have that Bodak Yellow spirit, right? Right? That's what it is. Look how manly she is. Beautiful woman, but manly as hell. She's like, she got a masculine spirit on her because that's what makes it. Read where you at. Proverbs 22 and verse 6.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
Right.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right. So they understood. That's why we don't have to pay attention to the old generation. Pay attention to this new generation. It's just like us. If we train up our children in the ways of the Most High, the thought process is they're not going to leave off of it. They're going to keep pushing it to their children. Pushing it. That's what made us get here in the first place. Right? The fathers left off. Then what happened? The children were like, well, shit, daddy ain't doing it, so guess what? I ain't doing it. Pray, Sabbath, feast days. I ain't doing that. I'm about to go sacrifice, get high and drunk, and bang everything. So train up a child in the way he shall go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. See, they understood these things back in this time. Willie Lynch time, 1700s, slavery, 1600, they understood this. Like I said, they had that Bible mentality, but in a devilish way. right? They use principles, because are these not principles from the scriptures?
Con.
That they just took and twisted and was like, nah, we're going to use your own things against you. Your own principles and morals and foundations, we're going to flip them and use them against you. Right? It says, therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up for you. Think about this. Think about a mom today, single mom, no dad around. She got her a little son. She got 3 little sons. What's the first thing they're gonna be when they grow up? You said what?
I said some of them gay.
Oh, she got 3 sons, 2 of them, all 3 of them are gonna be more likely faggots. But what profession? Oh, my son is gonna be a what?
A basketball player.
A football player, a basketball player, or some homosexual singer, right? Think about it. She's breaking him, and what does she do? She does everything in her power to make sure that he plays sports. She made sure that she get him to the games. Them grades is garbage, but guess what? He playing football. He playing Little League. Listen, I see it all the time with these single moms. Their kids all running, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with putting your kids in sports. But if that's what he's going to be when he grows up from the age of 5, because he's tall, then you already messed up. You're grooming him for slavery. I don't give a damn what you think. The NBA is slavery. They just get paid more. The NFL is slavery. The combine, they measure him, they make him jump. Let me see how big this nigga is and how tall and how high he can jump and how fast he is. It's the same way they did in slavery when they said, okay, he's big, he's strong. Look at this nigga with good teeth. Look at this nigga with big arms. He can lift more. Right? It's the same thing. So it don't matter what you think. You setting your child up to be handed over to the slave master. Now you just pimping them for a paycheck. Before it was free. Before you probably did it so you could get into the good house. Right? Before you was a slave, you was a house nigga, you gave up your son so that the master could take you into the house and you could serve the drinks. You could be the house nigga. Right? That was back then. Now you do it for the millions. You do it for the paycheck. But then the sad part is your son still got to sell out himself to be accepted, to get on to get that stardom. He got to sell out. Now he's soft as hell. He's effeminate, and he's a faggot. All in one upbringing. It's wild, man. But that's what our people have been tossed into. Because without the laws of the Most High, there's no strength there. Without the law, without the father figure, without a man, this is what you got. Right? So it says she will offer up her offspring to work. It says she will break so now the mom is breaking the children into these different roles. We're going to see what those are. It says she will break the offspring in its early years of development. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you. What do? My son, he's big, he's strong. I'm going to take him to this little college. They're going to make him an alcoholic, a weed head. As long as he plays football, we're going to keep him. And then he's going to go to the NFL. We're going to pimp him out, take him to some parties, make him eat poop, drink pee, do some homosexual acts, but he's going to get a paycheck, right? She's going to offer them up to work. For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. Because a mom with any protective sense knows, let me not turn my son into a homosexual. Let me not offer him up to the entertainment industry because what are they going to do? They're going to molest his ass and rape him. Let me not turn him into a dumbass athlete that is just a dumb athlete. They're not all dumb, by the way, but 99.99% are. They're dumb because all they care about is money. All they care about is a paycheck. Half them dudes go to college just to go to the league. Then what do they got to do 30, 40 years later when their legs are broken? Let me go back to college and get a degree, dog. When I'm broke as hell and bankrupt, now let me go back to college to learn how to manage my money. It don't make no sense because they're only there for one thing, paycheck and fame, right? So this is what the black woman is doing to her child. The same things we did back in this time, this is what y'all do now. Black, Hispanic, Native American woman. When you don't want the father to be around, when you do things to push him out the picture, when you paint him in this bad light, right? When you know damn well it was your fault because you talk too much, you nag too much, you want to be the man. When you do these things, this is what you turn your child, this is your male child, you turn him into. It says, for example, take the case of a wild stud horse, a female horse, and an already infant horse. So you got a male horse, a female horse, and a baby horse, right? And compare the breaking process with two captured nigger males in their natural state. A pregnant nigger woman with her infant offspring. So you got two males, pregnant woman, right? Take the stud horse, break him for a limited containment. Completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle. So that's crazy, because they break you women into just being niggers and being manly. They break you out of the gentleness into being rough and not tender and delicate. You become brutish. You see that? So it's a reverse process. It says, completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle. Whereas you or anybody can ride her in comfort. Breed the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. So now what they're doing, they're breaking these animals and breeding them, and the offspring becomes the product of the breaking and breeding.
Can they also break the woman to not only just being brutish, but also just like not having a mind at all?
Perfect. I like that. No, it goes right into it. Watch. Because that's what happens. It says she gets into this frozen state. When you're frozen, you ain't doing anything. You just stiff. You stuck. Right? It says where she can be ridden, where anybody can ride her in comfort. So remember, they're equating breaking a horse to breaking a man. Breaking a family of horses the same way you break the black family. Why? Because again, the horse was physically strong, but headstrong, like the scriptures say. Right? The black family, the black man, he's headstrong. He's got a will, especially if he's with the Most High, but also he's physically strong. So we got to break the mind and the body. Take the mind, keep the body, right? As they say. Breed the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Because guess what? Once you break him, he always going to come back. Think about it. You turn him to freedom, he ain't never really free. He knows it. Just like the black man. They break his ass down to the point where it's like, now you got to go work this job over here. And no matter how much you hate it, no matter how much we don't pay you, no matter how much we mistreat you on this job, guess what you're going to do? You're going to clock your ass out, go home, bitch about it, and then come back 10 minutes early for work, punch that clock, and do it. With no days off, 365 days a year for minimum pay, right? And that's how some jobs were, even coming into the early 1900s. A lot of these jobs, guys wasn't getting no weekends off. It was punch that clock 7 days a week. I hate my damn job. I want to kill myself. But guess what? We know that you need this job. Because we told you you need it. We broke the will out of you to develop your own business. To develop your family, to be able to do something with whatever land you live on. We broke that out of you already. So now you got to depend on us. Right? It says train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand. Because a wild horse ain't coming up to no person. A wild horse is running the hell away to go be wild. But now you got this wild horse able to eat out of your hand and not bite you. Right? So you train the female horse to eat out of your hand. Check this out. And she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. So the mother was breaking the babies. The same way that y'all do it now. The same way the black and Hispanic out in the world do it now. They break their children into this society. You basically sacrifice your kids for money, for rent, and some food stamps. Crazy. Right? And she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger, use the same process. but vary the degree and step up the pressure. Check this out. So as to do the complete reversal of the mind. So now they're like, we're gonna take your mind, right? Take the meanest and most restless nigger. Why? Because he represented that strength.
Come.
He represented that resistance, right?
Come.
Strip him of his clothes, so he's butt naked, in front of the remaining male niggas, the female and the nigger infant. So basically, he's in front of his family, butt ass naked, degraded. The scriptures say you shouldn't see another man's nakedness, right? Got you breaking all the laws. So he's butt naked, right? And this is one breaking process. There's another one I'm gonna tell y'all about. I'm gonna read this one though. And I believe this other one, it was called breaking a buck. But this one, he says, strip him naked in front of everybody, in front of all the males, his family, his children. Tar and feather him. You know what that is, right? Throw the tar on his body, throw the feathers on him so he looks like a damn chicken. Tie each leg to a different horse faced in the opposite way. So you got a leg, so he's like this. Right? And a horse and a horse. But you know what comes next. Set him on fire, so they burn him alive, and beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggers. So they would tie him to a horse, smack, smack, and these horses would rip this man in half while he was on fire, feathered and tarred. Who wears Levi's? Who wears Levi jeans? The back of your Levi emblem.
Oh,
It's two horses pulling a man up. It used to be two horses pulling a man apart. Yes, sir. Y'all didn't know that. Little check your garment facts, right? But what do? They put a pair of jeans there now, right? Ain't that what's there now?
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, they got that from that process. See, that was one way they did it. The other way was they stripped the man butt naked. They beat him to damn near an inch of his life. They would bend him over a log, and they would rape him in front of his family. Yes. They used to have plantation parties. They used to send notes and letters to one another like, yeah, we got this young buck we got to break. So they sent these letters to each plantation, in the district or whatever. And what would they do? They would come, they'd beat this man down in front of his family, and these slave owners would take turns raping this man. Breaking a buck, right? You looked it up?
Con.
Read it. Read what you.
Well,
it's wild, man.
I looked up the Levi logo.
Oh, Levi logo. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It had the picture of the jeans in the
Yeah.
middle, and then like a rope.
A rope tied to the jeans.
Tied to the jeans, and
to,
then
and
two
the
guys.
belt loops, right? And two guys like this.
Yeah. Two guys. One guy like whipping one horse, another guy's whipping another horse.
That used to be the Israelite man getting ripped in half, feathered and tarred, right? So they would do this in front of a woman. Think about Alexandria. If you saw that happen to your man, what's gonna happen? What's the thought that's in your head? What you gonna do? What you gonna do if you seen that happen to your strength? You what? You freeze up, right? You be like, okay, y'all got it. You win. Whatever you want, because you don't want to end up like that. And you don't want your children to end up like that. So what you gonna do? You're gonna teach your children a whole new way of living. Be submissive. You're gonna teach your male child, importantly, to be what? Dependent, submissive, yes, massa.
So that don't happen to him.
Yes, massa, so it don't happen to him. And what you gonna teach your female child? To be independent and strong. Now she gotta be the strength. She gotta be the backbone of the family. Taking everything all the way out of order. For one, ain't no God or Christ there. Y'all already forgot about that. That's been ripped out of your whole thought process. God and Christ ain't here because guess what? If he was, you wouldn't be going through this. That's what's been pushed into you. And then guess what? God and Christ are white, so if you don't obey us anyway, you're not obeying God and Christ. That was pushed into us. And then we couldn't read the language, and we were prohibited to read, right? Any nigga that was caught reading, killed. The master was jailed. So that was stripped from us. We couldn't read, even if we wanted to read. That's why they say the Bible's the white man's book. Look, even if they wanted us to read it, we couldn't. We were not it was illegal for us to read. Y'all understand this so far?
Con.
I'm gonna jump back. Set them on fire, beat both horses to pull them apart in front of the remaining nigger. The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining nigger males to the point of death in front of the female and infant. So now you scarring this kid's mental for life. The first images of this infant is seeing his daddy, his uncle, his brothers being killed. So what is he gonna do? He don't wanna do what got them killed, so he gonna do the total opposite, which is submit, right? Don't kill him, but put the fear of God in him, so to speak. For he can be useful for future breeding. So now when you breed it, think about it, they were pushing a mentality and then pushing this mentality into the physical. Y'all see that? Where now you breed babies that think like this, because you think like this. So now you breeding a child that don't want to rely on the Most High, a woman that don't need a man that's just a homo. In short terms, he's soft as hell. He just a bag of muscles and no brain. Y'all get it?
Come.
Let's see. Now we're gonna jump down. It says the breaking process of the African or Israelite woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. So now that you done broke her whole family, now you go to her and see if she's gonna submit willingly. So those series of tests, they were going in, trying to sleep with them, right? Trying to have sex with them, trying to take their kids, all different type of things. Test her in every way, because she is the most important factor for good economics. Why? Because when she was in line, the kids were in line. When she was in line, the man was out the picture. Why do you think the society runs the way it runs? Y'all ever thought about that? Why do you think during the feminist time they gave women all this power? Y'all ever think about that? Like, why do they empower all these women? Because, think about it. There was a time when there was only men on the workforce, right? Mm-hmm. You had a whole nother half of a workforce just sitting at home. Doing what? Raising their families.
Right.
Guess what? That's not good economics. We need y'all over here building our economy and building our kingdom. So let's empower women, right, to go work. Let's give them equal rights, equal pay, we're gonna make them fight for it, obviously. We're gonna make them fight and act like it's a big thing. But we're gonna give it to them, the right to vote, right? But with all that came, now I don't have to submit to anything. I got the right to vote. I'm an organ donor. I can drive now. I don't need you, right? I wear the pants in the family. This is the mentality that they were giving us.
New thing on earth, woman shall come past the woman.
Oh, bro, I'm about to get right to that. Oh, I got it. Oh yeah, watch. It's gonna go right into this point. It says if she shows any sign of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract that last bit of resistance out of her. So basically, they'll whoop a woman until she didn't resist. Just like how they'll take y'all food stamps if you don't have a man if you have a man in your house. Just how they'll kick you out of your Section 8. Just how they won't give you certain jobs, or you won't get certain privileges, certain assistances. Think about it. To get government assistance, you got to file child support on your man. What's up?
I remember my best friend in the world, she said she's better off not having her husband. Like, she'll be better off, getting government assistance, food stamps, Section 8. Anything she wants, she'll be better off without him.
Right.
Because child support and get that money too.
Yeah, and then file child support and get that dough. Because why? You know why? Because a man's wisdom, a man's presence is not valued. Right. Listen, the scriptures say a man shall be more precious. There's going to come a time when a man is more precious than fine gold. Obviously, this ain't that time. Because a woman will give her nigga up for $900 in rent. Or not to have to pay, or to only pay $50 worth of rent. Think about it. You're really giving your man up for $50. Even though he's working, he works, he busts his tail, he's there, he ain't bringing enough money, so guess what? The government can subside that, and I just don't have him around. And then the way I get around it is I'm gonna just turn into a dyke, and then have the B.O.B., the Bob, the battery operated boyfriend. I'm gonna have that, and that's gonna solve all my worries, right? I gotta get love, so I just might as well turn into a dyke. I might as well turn homosexual. That way I can get some love. And I'm not really having a man in my house, even though she looks like a man, right? She got the boy haircut. She walks around with her pants sagging off her ass. She's diesel as hell, masculine spirit, right? I mean, come on, you gotta see the backwards thinking. It says, don't hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of resistance out of her. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. And this is why there are so many single moms out here pushing their kids into sports. And that's all we want to give our kids, man. He's going to be a football player because he's 300 pounds at 5 years old. He's going to be a basketball player because he's above average, because he's 6 foot tall at 13. He got to be a basketball player? What if he sucks? Then what? Where's his brains at? He got to be an entertainer because he was dancing like Michael Jackson, girl. You see my girl, she going to be a singer. Because you got her at 5 years old twerking at Nicki Minaj. That's why. So you instilling these bad values into your kids. That it's all about money, entertainment, being famous, right? Carnal things. And not showing them, look, at 5 years old, you need to go twerk them books. And learn how to keep still and listen. Right? Because you 6 foot tall don't mean that you got to go be a basketball player. Get in them books. Get your mind right. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into the area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in the breaking process of the female nigger. So, in breaking this woman down, stripping the man, breaking this man down in front of the woman, because that's what happens too. You know, you got a lot of females that get pulled. I mean, think about like Philando Castillo. Got shot up right in front of his kid and his woman. They killed him right in front of her. They killed him right in front of her. What does that do to the psyche? It shows that it takes the man off this pedestal, and now the woman has to jump on that pedestal to be the strength for her children. So a lot of this ain't done intentionally, but now that we know, y'all gotta stop. Now that we know what's being done, y'all gotta wake the hell up and stop keeping it going. Right? Damn. What time is class in? What the? Wow. Okay, I'm gonna move on a little bit faster. We have reversed the relationship in her natural uncivilized state. She would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male. So in breaking her, she would have, before breaking her, she had a strong dependency on her husband. But now that she's broke, she depends on herself. She would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring. See, when the man is around, now the male child, he's more independent. Because that's how he's being raised. Because a man is supposed to be independent. Right? And would raise male offspring to be dependent like her. So now that the roles are reversed, she's raising her male to be dependent like her. In fear that if he's independent, that comes at death. Right? Nature had provided for this type of balance. See, the natural balance was a man was independent, a woman was dependent. But see, they're breaking that out of the woman. We have reversed nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the other to the point of death. All in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed. See, that's what they do when they give you all these little booby prizes and trinkets and treats. They destroy the image of the black male. So now your household is just in utter corruption and utter desolation. The ordeal caused her to move from her physical dependent state to a frozen independent state. Just like today. Y'all are in a frozen independent Y'all think y'all independent, but they built this into you, right? In this frozen physiological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reverse roles. Dependent males and independent females. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, like most of your athletes today. They're mentally weak, they don't know how to handle situations, but they're physically strong, right? For the fear of the young male's life, she will, I said that already, but physically strong, because she has become psychologically independent. She will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. So now the order is broken. Go to Jeremiah 31 and verse 22. Everybody's throwing it out there, but I had it. I want to get to this point. Go to 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 8.
You want Jeremiah first? Or?
Corinthians first. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 11, verse 8. For the man is not of the woman.
So the man is not of the woman. Go ahead.
But the woman of the man.
Go ahead.
Neither it was the man created for the woman.
You see that? The man wasn't created for the woman. Go ahead.
But the woman for the man.
Go ahead.
For this cause ought the woman to have power over her head because of the angels.
You see that? So what they did was they gave the woman the power. But it said, for this cause ought the woman not have the power because of the angels. What angels? When you go to Psalms, it talks about the evil angels. See, why do you think a lot of these women get evil that come upon them? They have no covering. They have no protection. That man was taken out of the picture. So now what does the woman got to do? Make every decision for herself. Every decision is on her. Everything. From her own decisions about herself, that's why she makes all the wrong ones, picks all the wrong dudes, makes all the wrong choices for her kids, puts them all in bad situations, right? It's like, let me buy food or let me get my hair did. Let me go buy some bundles of bread or let me go buy some bundles of damn hair weave. You know, that's why you have households in torment and disarray. Bad decisions. There's nobody over her saying, no, listen, no, we're going to take the money and buy damn food and make sure the lights is on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, what have you got? Did you reverse? Where you at?
I'm at 10.
Go ahead, reverse 10.
Oh, no, 10.
Oh, that's it? Right. Go to Jeremiah 31 and verse 32. Hold that real quick. It says, so what have you got? You've got the nigger woman out front and the nigger man behind the scenes scared. Now let's get Jeremiah 31 and verse 32. See, the scriptures is telling us. Read that.
You said 32?
31 and verse 22.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
See, this was a new thing in the earth, that a woman was going to compass a man, because we know that a woman was not over the man. Right?
Come.
What tells us that? What tells us that a woman was not over the man? While we think about that, get us Psalms 82 and 5. Psalms chapter 82 and verse 5. Where you at?
82 and 5.
Read that. Psalms 82 and verse 5.
They know not.
Yeah, see, the people, we don't know nothing. Go ahead.
Neither will they understand.
Yeah, we don't even want to understand as Israelites, man. As the people of the Most High, we don't want to understand. Go ahead.
They walk on in darkness.
Go ahead.
All the foundations of the earth are out. All of the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Yeah, the main foundation was the man. being in his home, guiding his family. See, they understood this. You break that foundation, you can't, we're going to break the foundation of the man and build our own foundation. Right? Go to, go to 2 Ezra 5 and 8. We got to see, man, that for the sisters that got the knowledge, for you Israelite, humble, tender, and delicate sisters that don't fall into Deuteronomy 28 and 56, y'all got to stop doing this. Now that we know, y'all have to not be this. You can't be the one trying to compass your man. You can't be the one that's trying to usurp the authority and, nigga, it's all about what I'm saying. No. That's not what it's about. It's about the order. Right? Read where you at.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places.
Right? There's confusion in many places. Why? Because everything's getting changed about. Go ahead.
And the fire shall be left off, and the fire shall be off set out against.
Go ahead.
And the wild beasts shall change their places.
See that? The wild beast, the man, that wild nigger, he decided, I'm going to change my place. Guess what I'm going to be? I'm going to be the scared little woman in the back, while my woman steps up and takes the brunt force of everything. You got niggas that do that now. Hey, woman be leading them about. It's whatever she says, dog.
Right.
You know, happy life, happy wife. Or I said that backwards. Happy wife, happy life. Listen, we following the Most High, so guess what? Ain't nobody going to be happy. Because it's going to be hell and torment and affliction, right? It's going to be good times. But that happy life, bull crap, I can't even say it right. Man, I got to make sure that she's good, dog, all the time. It's like, I get it. We got to take care of our women. We have to. But not to the point where you just a simp, a simple Negro, bowing down, right? The black woman is God. No, her is not God. Because if her was God, God wouldn't need government assistance. God don't need TANF and food stamps. God creates his own way if the black woman is God. Read on.
And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
You menstruous women, man. You bringing forth these little ass monsters that you can't. For one, you bring them forth and then you give them the wrong example, just like here. And then what? They turn into monsters. Little homosexual monsters because they soft. They ain't got no backbone. They ain't got no brains. They just a bag of muscles. Dreads and muscles. You teach your kids to get dreads and muscles. Dreads and muscles. Bad and bougie. You teach your girls to be bad and bougie. You teach your sons to get dreads and muscles. That's my song for bad and bougie. Dreads and muscles. This is, right? I don't know the words. I don't know the words. But that's what y'all do. That's what they do, man. That's what the world promotes. Go get you some muscles, hit the gym, and grow your dreads. You a little girl, go be bad and bougie. Get you some tight spandex, show your gizzards, right? And go twerk to the next video. Twerk to some gospel, twerk in church. It don't matter what it is, just twerk. Twerk, 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 twerk. You know we have to twerk, 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 twerk. Right? I don't own the rights to that song. So, man, that's off of YouTube. I don't own the rights. Right? Did you finish up in Psalms 85?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you did. I'm going to jump back down. We got a few minutes. Man, I had some more. I had a lot of heat. Oh, it was a lot. Damn. Okay. It says the perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly. For out of frozen fear, his woman stands on guard for us. So now what do they got? The black woman working for them. Getting the black man locked up. If he look at you wrong, I'm calling the cops. If you touch me, I'm calling the cops. If you tell me anything, I'm calling the cops. Even if he don't touch you, you call the cops. He beat me. He goes to jail. They got you an agent. You just put on your back FBI, CIA, TSA, NSA. What's the other one? ICE.
I see.
Right? ICE. Right? You illegal immigrants know about that. That ICE. Yeah. Right? He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He is a good tool. Now ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken and ready for a long life of sound and efficient work. I.e., you break him, he's in high school, now his ass goes to college and he becomes all he can be. You throw him in the military, sports, entertainment, or the corporate world. He's built for this society without no work from the man. Stop blaming the white man. It's you now. It's you now. You are breaking your sons into all the things. You're breaking them into the gangs by not being around enough and letting the gangs raise him. You're breaking them into homosexuality by being there too much and pampering and oh, he's just a baby. He got on your damn pumps and high heels. Bro, my son used to do that at 1 year old when he could walk. He would just walk around his. I'm like, get the hell about them shoes, boy. You ain't walking around in your mom's shoes. You better put these boots on. I don't care how heavy they are. You know, he didn't know no better. But guess what? We knew better. But if we let him just walk around in pumps at 1, what's going to happen? By the time he turned 5, he's going to have the lipstick on. He's going to be walking around with the tutu, right? And thinking this, and playing with dolls and thinking it's cool. So we're the ones that put our kids into these processes that society uses now to perpetuate all these evils. The homosexuality, the bestiality, the drugs, the gangs. Even corporate America is corrupt. I don't give a damn what you do. It's corrupt. Right? Where we at? Go to Jeremiah 2 and 14. So it said he is soundly broken and ready for a long life of sound and efficient work and the reproduction of a unit of a good labor force. So this is the question we got to ask. Is this what we were meant for?
Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 14.
Read.
Is Israel a servant?
Are we servants? Black women, is your son a servant? Is your daughter a servant? Black man, is that what we're supposed to be building? Servants? Read.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Oh, damn slave? Hell yeah, if you keep going the way you're going, if you keep in the mentality that you have, yes, he will be a servant and a slave to the oppressors forever, for the next 1,000 years. If we don't wake the hell up, yes, he will be a servant. Go ahead.
Why is he spoiled?
Why is the black man spoiled? Why is the black family spoiled? Because you push the black man out. But you trying to take the reins and assume all the manly duties. And when I say manly duties, you want to be the damn man? That manly ass spirit you roll in? That I'm going to tell my man what to do? Nah, you can't work there, you work here. Nah, you can't wear that, you wear. I don't even want my girl telling me what cologne to wear. Like, no, my girl picks out all my colognes. The hell? How's she gonna pick out how you smell? That don't make no sense. It's your smell. That just irks me. When I wake up in the morning and I'm getting dressed and I'm throwing on my oils, I ain't like, hey babe, come pick this one out for me. What you want me to smell like today? I'm like, man, look. Damn, I feel like smelling like this today. I mixed like 30 oils together because that's what I want to smell like. And I use that because it's something so simple where we work in the mall, we sell oils, and we pull these dudes over like, man, bro, what you like smell like? I don't know, dog. My girl be picking. I'm like, huh? I'm like, yeah, you're right, because she's always up on you, and you know it's always their choice, right? And he's like, yeah, dog, whatever they say. I'm like, because it is always by the girl's nose, right? And they fall right into it. Like, yeah, dog. Hell no, it's not. I'm gonna smell, if I want to smell like dirt and leaves, that's what I'm gonna smell like. I don't care. It's my smell. Get away. You ain't gonna dictate what I smell like. If it smells bad and it's offensive, then it's like, all right, let me go take a shower and handle business. But for the most part, you're not gonna be like, no, you wear aqua de Gio today, because that's what you're gonna smell like. Or you don't wear nothing because I don't want no girl smelling on you. Yeah. That's the mentality. It's like, what you wear, man? Man, my girl don't want me wearing that stuff. Like, why? She don't want you smelling good? Nah, because she gonna think all the other females gonna get on me. Like, come on. Like, you simple man. Right? But think about it. It starts there. Next thing you know, she telling him when he can use the bathroom, if he can use the bathroom, how long he needs to hold it. Yo, I've been around some dudes that cater. I'm talking about, it's to the point it's sickening. It makes you want to vomit. Right? I'm gonna keep y'all a little bit long, not too long. I just want to get a few of these points out. It says continually through the breaking of the uncivilized savage nigger by throwing the nigger female savage into the frozen physical state of independence, by killing of the protective male image, and by creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigger male slave, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slave. So what they're saying here is basically we've created something that's just going to fuel itself. A rotating axis, right? A orbiting, it just does this. It spins on its own axis in all different ways. It affects everybody, right? It's like a hamster wheel. As long as the hamster's in it, keeps turning, right? But it says unless a phenomenon occurs that reshifts the position of the male and female slave. What could that be? La Biblia, right? What's going to reformulate the roles? Go to Ezekiel 37 and verse 1 real quick. Go to Ezekiel 37 and verse 1. Get Revelations, Christian, get a Revelations 11 and verse 8 real quick. 11 and verse 8. To the brother online that asked a question in Jeremiah. We ain't gonna get to it, but this is what I'm gonna do. You can put my number in there. This is for Ra Sadim. I'm gonna throw my number in the chat, and then you can text me. That way I'll answer your question. Text me so I can answer your question. Tomorrow to the De La Vega Martinez says, who is this? I want to join y'all's camp. Listen, we're at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas. We don't hand out t-shirts. If you in Texas, show up. You know what I mean? We don't just hand out t-shirts and then you're part of the camp. You got to come through. You got to show up to class, be diligent, be ready to learn. So 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. My number, you need it?
I'm putting it on.
Okay, yeah, this is for anyone y'all can hit me up, I don't care, but for Ra Sadim. I'm throwing my number in the chat, that way you can text me and I'll get to your question. I'm not going to be able to get to it. I wanted to get some of this out. Ezekiel 37 and verse 1.
Ezekiel chapter 37 verse 1.
Go ahead.
The hand of the Lord was upon me.
Go ahead.
And carried me out in the spirit of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones.
Right, go to Revelations 11 verse 8. So this was Ezekiel talking about the Most High brought him into this valley with these bones. So we're going to understand that this valley is America today, right? If we want to talk about this scripture today, this valley represents America, and these bones represent these dried up ass Israelites. These dried up, no knowledge Israelites that cater to their women, these dried up women that think that they run their men. This is what it's talking about. These slaves where the roles were reversed. Read on. Read Revelations 11 and verse 8.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
Go ahead.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Right. If we ain't first of all, we in spiritual Sodom and Egypt, but more importantly, this is physical. And when I say physical, because you got nothing but homosexuals running around. We know it's not actually Egypt and Sodom. But you got so many homosexuals and transgender and pedophilia, and they got a third gender now that just came out. I don't even think they got a name. They just call it third gender. They got like a third gender bathroom. So if you don't want to be a man or a woman, you can still use the bathroom. So what does it matter? Like, I don't know what I am, but I got to broadcast it to everybody so I can use the bathroom? It don't make no sense. It's past transgender. Now this is just in your damn mind. I wonder if they just like pee from their finger or something. Because they don't recognize their genitalia. So, right? Anyway, it says it's spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right?
Good. Where also our Lord was crucified.
Right. Jump back down to verse 2 in Ezekiel.
And caused me to pass by them round about.
Right, so Ezekiel was by these dry Israelites. Go ahead.
And behold, there were many in the open valley.
Go ahead.
And lo, they were very dry.
Yeah, they were very dry. What made them dry? Go to Amos 8 and 11. They were dry as hell. Why? They were dry because they lacked the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Is that what I wanted? Is it Amos? Read it. Let's see.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God,
That's what I wanted. Go ahead.
that I will send a famine in the land,
Right?
not a famine of bread,
Yeah, they weren't dry because they had no food. Go ahead.
nor a thirst for water,
Right? Read.
but of hearing the words of the Lord.
But of what?
Hearing the words of the Lord.
Yeah, these bones were dry. These slaves, they got dried up. Our people are dry as hell because they didn't want to hear the words of the Most High. Get Isaiah 5 and 13. Somebody else get Isaiah 1 and verse 3.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
They're what?
Gone into captivity.
Go ahead.
Because they have no knowledge.
Y'all see that? We went into captivity because we have no knowledge, but the problem is we stay in captivity because we have no knowledge. We don't have no knowledge of the simple things of what a woman's role is, what a man's role is, what a child's role is. How does a family get ran? Who runs the family? Is it supposed to be equal? Like, oh, you're not bringing in the same amount of income as me, so it's not equal. What's the roles? See, we got to redefine the roles here. Read on.
And their honorable men are famished.
Right. The honorable men, the men that had some sense, they're dried the hell up too. But we waking up. Read Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3.
The ox knoweth his owner.
Right. See, an ox knows his owner. A dumb brute beast knows his owner. Go ahead.
And the ass his master's crib.
And a stubborn ass knows his master's crib. Go ahead.
But Israel doth not know.
Right. We don't know. We don't consider. Read on.
My people doth not consider.
Go ahead.
Our simple nation, a people laden with iniquity.
Go ahead.
A seed of evildoers.
A seed of what?
Evildoers.
Go ahead.
Children that are corrupted.
Yeah, we corrupted because we get left off the law of the Most High. Read on.
They have forsaken the Lord.
You see that? Go ahead.
They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger.
Right, they here to throw us in slavery. Go ahead.
They are gone away backward.
Read verse 5.
Why should ye be stricken any more?
Uh-huh.
Ye will revolt more and more.
Uh-huh.
The whole head is
You
sick.
see that? The whole head is sick. And if the head is sick, the body is going to be sick.
Con.
The head is sick, the body is going to be worse. Go ahead.
And the whole heart faint.
Yeah, we faint, man. We just dried up and garbage. Because of our mentality. You women think that because y'all got a job and because you're making like a few bucks an hour that all of a sudden that's it? That's the end all be all to life? Or that it gives you the authority to now master over a man? Or say what a man can and can't do? You know, I know, listen, I dealt with some women that they didn't even have the Bible and they knew that their job did not take them out of dropping down under their man and being submissive. I know women like that. I got aunts like that where you won't hear a peep because they know whatever he say go. But it's like, how come the Israelite woman that has the knowledge don't think like that? How come this got to be whooped into him? How come it got to be whooped into a man? Stop being a damn simp. Stop worrying about your woman and what she's doing every 5 minutes and hang out with the brothers and get some wisdom and some strength. Because it's two ways. It ain't just the women. It's definitely the man. It's definitely the man. It's like, brothers, let's meet up over here real quick. Oh man, I got, baby girl, I gotta, it's like, what? Baby girl? You gotta do what? You gotta go cook and clean? Damn, what was she doing all day? Well, she was off today, so I'm about to go, oh, nah.
Rubber feet.
Damn. She was off, but you gotta go home, cook, clean, do everything, and you can't hang out with brothers? You can't get no strength, no wisdom, no not? Okay, I got you. As simple as that. Read on.
For the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it.
Go ahead.
But wounds and bruises and
putrefying sores. Go ahead.
They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
Yeah, the Most High said from the head to the body, from the top of the head to the soles of the foot, Israel is just destroyed. Read verse 7.
Your country is desolate.
Read.
Your cities are burnt with fire.
Go ahead.
Your land, strangers devour it.
Go ahead.
And your presence.
Oh, go ahead.
And in it, it's like, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers.
Yeah, everything we got, our whole heritage has been taken from us through this lack of knowledge, through this lack of care, through this unbalance, through this role reversal. Everything been taken. Read verse 8.
And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard.
Yeah, what do you do? Think about a cottage in a vineyard that's unprotected. Niggas just run through that. I'm gonna go pillage the village, dog. Right? Read on.
As a lodge in a garden of
cucumbers. Right. She's open for the taking. There's children, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Use your imagination. Right? Yeah. The Most High, listen, but ain't that what happened to, think about it. Think about it. That's what happened to our women when they broke us down to a point where we couldn't even defend them. It's in here. I probably won't be able to get to it tonight. I might have to continue this. I ain't gonna be able to get to it tonight. But there was a part in here where it said the best way to make a nigger slave, especially the woman, was to put white blood in her. To breed her with a white man. Yeah. You see that? To breed her with a white man. That way now you have the crossbreed of the two. So then you have that influence. Listen, the white man ain't stupid, man. He knows. Put your seed in that. It's all you. It comes out you. You are what your daddy is. Right? So it's the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. It been ran through and don't nobody want it. But see, that's what this mentality perpetuates if we don't come up off it. I'm gonna continue this class. I don't want to keep y'all too much longer. I'm gonna continue it probably maybe next Saturday. I got that in there too, Abadiah. It's further down. I'll probably continue this next Friday. Actually, that was actually the next scripture. I'm gonna continue it because it needs to be continued. But y'all get the point so far, right?
Con.
Right. The mental state has to change. For those that know and for those that don't know, we got to come back to who we were. The roles need to be reversed and nature needs to be reinstilled. The natural positions have to go back to where they were for Israel to get right, for the kids to be raised right, for the women to get in order, for the men to get in order. Think about it. We got to fall under the Most High in Christ. There's more on our shoulders than there is on the woman. You just got to fall under your man. And if you fall under your man and he's under the Most High in Christ, you're automatically falling under the Most High in Christ. You women. The children got to fall under all of it. But the men got it. We have the more brunt of the responsibility, but we do it. We find some way, somehow to do it. Our will is not greater than the women. Our will is not greater. It's just that they put this high-mindedness in y'all and gave y'all a bunch of booby traps with it, booby snacks and trinkets, that it's like, I don't want to leave that. There we go. All right, got your number. I don't want to leave off of that. So we got to reevaluate. But with that, we're going to end it. If y'all got any other questions online other than the brother that just hit me up, hold them for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sabbath class, so we got like 8-10 hours to answer questions. All right? So with that, we definitely appreciate y'all joining in. Remember, any contribution you want to give, please do so. It's needed. All right, and we appreciate all those that's been given. Okay. All right. With that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Lord done told us. So to me, there's no surprise on why they fold us. It's not cause our skin is dark and they don't know us. It's cause we're stuck.
Dude, I drank some water.
Crack in that doja. Allow our brains to be polluted, now they mold us. Don't hate on me, hate on the